Riley Morgan had always considered herself good at blending into the background, a quiet silhouette in a bustling corporate world designed for sharper, louder personalities. At 28, she had mastered the art of invisibility: crisp blouses in neutral shades, hair in a simple low bun, eyes lowered in meetings even when her mind raced ahead of everyone else's. It wasn't fear, just habit. Survival. And yet, as she stepped out of the cramped shuttle van and stared up at the isolated wooden lodge nestled deep in the mountain range, she felt a strange anticipation curl inside her chest, something electric and unfamiliar, like the air before a storm. The annual Hanson Dynamics Company retreat was notorious. Colleagues whispered about it in elevators, team-building torture disguised as relaxation, endless performance evaluations hidden behind casual bonding, and the constant presence, looming, silent, unsettling, of Ashley Hanson herself. Ashley, the 35-year-old CEO whose reputation for perfection was legend. Riley had only seen her up close twice, and both times had left her breathless for reasons she refused to examine. Ashley was everything Riley wasn't: confidently elegant, poised to the point of intimidation, walking through the office like she owned the air people breathed. A woman carved from marble, beautiful in a way that was almost painful to look at and terrifying in equal measure, which made what would happen later all the more impossible. The mountains were colder than Riley had expected, the air thin and sharp as she lifted her suitcase from the van. Around her, the other analysts and managers chatted nervously, their breath fogging in the twilight. The lodge itself looked peaceful, warm light spilling from the windows, towering pines rustling in the wind, a faint trail leading into the forest behind it, but something about the silence felt wrong. Too still. Too expectant. Riley shivered and told herself it was just the altitude. Inside, the lobby buzzed with forced cheerfulness as the HR team handed out room keys and color-coded badges. Riley received a yellow one, Group Harmony, whatever that meant, and was halfway to the staircase when a hush fell over the room. The temperature seemed to drop. She didn't need to turn to know who had entered. Ashley Hanson walked in like a command. Her dark tailored coat hugged her frame with military precision, her blonde hair pulled back into a sleek twist, her expression unreadable. But her eyes, those cold, calculating blue eyes, swept the room and landed, inexplicably, on Riley. Riley's chest tightened. Ashley didn't look away. Not for a long, impossible second. Then she blinked, the spell breaking, and continued toward the reception desk. Riley exhaled shakily and forced her legs to move. She told herself she was being ridiculous, that Ashley probably hadn't even registered her presence. CEOs didn't notice quiet analysts. CEOs certainly didn't look at them like they were trying to place a memory that shouldn't exist. The first evening passed in a blur of awkward icebreakers and badly acted trust exercises. Riley participated mechanically, offering polite smiles while her mind replayed that moment of eye contact over and over again. By the time dinner ended, she was exhausted and just wanted to sleep. But fate, or something far more dangerous, had other plans. At 11:43 p.m., unable to sleep, Riley decided to step outside for air. The cabin halls were quiet, dimly lit, and cold enough to raise goosebumps on her skin. She wrapped her sweater tighter around her and pushed open the back door, leading into the forest. Moonlight painted everything silver. The air tasted wild. She took a slow breath, letting her eyes adjust. That was when she heard it. A sound that didn't belong. A choked gasp. A muffled scream. Bones cracking. Splintering. Breaking. Riley froze. The sound came from behind the treeline, deeper into the woods. Her heart slammed against her ribs, logic screaming for her to go back inside. But something pulled her forward. A curiosity threaded with fear, tethered by something she couldn't name. She stepped off the porch and followed the noise, her shoes crunching softly on the frosted earth. As she approached the clearing, she saw movement, a silhouette on hands and knees, trembling violently under the moonlight. Blonde hair, a familiar coat. Riley's blood ran cold. Ashley. But not Ashley. Her spine arched unnaturally, as if an invisible hand were twisting her from the inside. Her fingers clawed at the ground, nails tearing into the soil. Riley opened her mouth to speak, to call out, to run. She didn't know, but the world snapped into something surreal. Ashley's bones shifted beneath her skin. Muscles rippled and reformed. A snarl, low, guttural, tore from her throat. Her face elongated, her jaw cracking as if unhinging itself. Fur burst across her arms, spreading like wildfire. Riley's mind shattered into disbelief. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. But it was happening right in front of her, the elegant, untouchable CEO unraveling into something primal, something ancient, something deadly. The transformation was violent, horrifying, beautiful. And then Ashley, no, the creature she'd become, lifted its head and looked directly at Riley. Not with Ashley's cold blue eyes. With something ancient and wolf-like, glowing with a predatory intelligence that felt older than the mountains surrounding them. Riley stumbled back, her breath strangled in her throat. The creature growled, not in threat, but in recognition. As if it knew her, as if it had expected her. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it bolted into the forest, vanishing into the shadows with supernatural speed. Riley collapsed to her knees, shaking, gasping, her heart trying to break out of her chest. She didn't know how long she stayed there. Minutes. Hours. Long enough for the moon to sink lower. Long enough for the horror to settle into something else, an ache of fascination she didn't understand. At dawn, exhaustion dragged her back toward the lodge. She slipped inside unnoticed, her mind echoing with images she would never forget. Bones shifting, fur spreading, eyes burning. She reached her room, locked the door, and leaned against it, trembling. She wasn't dreaming. She wasn't hallucinating. Ashley Hansen was a monster.
Or something more complicated than that.
When Riley finally dragged herself downstairs for breakfast, her hands still shaking, she didn't expect anyone to notice her. But someone did.
Ashley.
Standing near the corner fireplace, wrapped in a thick sweater, hair tousled, face pale with exhaustion, and eyes haunted. The CEO's gaze locked on Riley with a fear Riley had never seen from her before. Not power. Not control.
Fear.
Ashley crossed the room in 3 long strides and stopped inches from Riley, her voice barely a whisper. "We need to talk.
Now."
Riley's pulse thundered. Please, Ashley breathed, the single word cracking at the edges.
"You saw."
"Didn't you?" Riley couldn't speak. She didn't have to. Ashley closed her eyes, swallowing hard. When she opened them again, they glistened with something terrifyingly human. "Please don't tell anyone." The CEO of Hansen Dynamics, untouchable, unbreakable, unfeeling, looked at Riley like a woman begging for her life. And Riley, despite every instinct screaming at her to run, felt her heart clench in response. Because beneath the terror, beneath the shock, beneath the impossible revelation, one truth pulsed through her like a second heartbeat. She didn't want Ashley's money, or protection, or promises. She wanted the truth. And maybe, God help her, she wanted Ashley. Riley had barely slept, her mind replaying every impossible detail of the night before, but nothing could have prepared her for the way Ashley Hansen stood in front of her now, no longer the untouchable CEO, but a woman carrying fear like a second skin. Ashley's voice trembled just enough to break the illusion of perfection she always held. "Come with me," she whispered, and before Riley could protest, Ashley's hand wrapped lightly around her wrist, guiding her toward a secluded hallway off the main lodge. Riley's breath caught at the contact. She had expected Ashley's touch to feel cold, commanding, clinical. Instead, it was warm, almost fragile, as if Ashley herself might shatter if she let go. They entered a small meeting room lit only by the early morning light filtering through frost-covered windows. Ashley shut the door behind them, then turned, her composure cracking entirely for the first time Riley had ever witnessed. "You can't tell anyone what you saw," Ashley said, her voice low, strained. If the board finds out, if anyone finds out, she trailed off, pressing a shaking hand to her forehead. Riley swallowed. Ashley, I don't even know what I saw. Ashley's jaw tightened, panic flickering in her eyes. You know exactly what you saw. Riley hesitated, because despite the terror, a part of her did know. A part of her would never forget. You transformed, she whispered, into something else. Ashley flinched at the word transformed. I didn't choose this, she breathed, stepping closer. I never wanted to become that. And if the wrong people find out, I'll lose everything. My company, my life, maybe more. Riley's heart twisted unexpectedly. The woman in front of her wasn't the ruthless CEO who commanded boardrooms. She was a trapped creature begging for mercy. I'm not going to tell anyone, Riley said softly. Ashley's head snapped up.
People always say that.
And then they don't. Riley shook her head. I mean it. But Ashley was already thinking, calculating, scrambling for control the way she always did. Her eyes sharpened with sudden determination, though fear still trembled underneath. Then I have to make sure you have a reason not to, she said quietly, stepping closer until Riley could feel the warmth of her breath. A reason to stay close. A reason to keep my secret safe. Riley's pulse pounded. What are you talking about? Ashley exhaled shakily, looked away, then back, her decision made. I'm promoting you. Riley blinked. What? Effective immediately, Ashley continued, voice steadier now. You're no longer an analyst. You'll be working directly under me. Personal strategy, liaison. Riley's mouth fell open. Ashley, that's a major jump. I'm aware. People are going to talk. Let them. Riley stared at her, stunned. You can't promote me just to keep me quiet. Ashley stepped closer again, her eyes locking onto Riley's with unnerving intensity. I'm promoting you because I need someone I can trust near me at all times. Someone who won't run. Someone who saw the worst of me and didn't collapse. Riley felt her breath catch. I did collapse, she whispered. Only for a minute. A faint, broken smile ghosted over Ashley's lips before disappearing. You came back. The words hit Riley harder than they should have. Something unspoken lingered in the space between them, something warm and terrifying. Riley tried to speak, but Ashley continued, desperate to regain some sense of control. You'll work out of my office when we return to the city. You'll have full access clearance, direct communication with me, and a 50% salary increase. Riley's eyes widened. Ashley, this is too much. No, Ashley said, shaking her head. It's not enough. Not when you hold my entire life in your hands. They stood there, breathing the same cold air, both aware of how drastically everything had changed. Riley wanted to ask what exactly Ashley expected from her, what working directly under her entailed, what secrets hid beyond the ones she already knew. But before she could speak, Ashley stepped close enough that Riley felt the warmth of her body radiate through the inch of space between them. Riley, she said softly, almost tenderly, I can't lose everything because of one night. I need you near me. I need to know you're safe and that I'm safe with you. Safe with you. The words echoed through Riley like a tremor. She didn't know what Ashley meant professionally, emotionally, physically, but she felt the weight of it. Felt the pull. Felt something she wasn't ready to name. All right, Riley whispered. I'll take the promotion. Relief washed over Ashley's face so intensely it was almost painful to witness. The CEO closed her eyes for a moment, as if steadying herself, then opened them and said, much more softly, thank you. Love what you've seen so far and want to help me keep creating these awesome stories on this channel? Then subscribe and hit the bell. Your subscription supports the channel and makes sure you get more exciting stories. And then, God help her, Ashley reached out and intertwined her fingers with Riley's, just for a moment, just long enough for Riley to feel the tremor in Ashley's hand. This stays between us, Ashley murmured. Everything. Riley nodded, unable to speak. Ashley released her hand slowly, reluctantly, as if letting go cost her something. Then she straightened her posture, put her CEO mask back on, opened the door, and said with perfect calm, We'll be joining the morning workshop shortly. Act normal. But as Riley followed her out into the hallway, she knew nothing about her life would ever be normal again. Not with Ashley's eyes lingering on her more than they should. Not with the warmth of Ashley's hand still burning into her skin. Not with the new knowledge that Ashley Hansen wasn't just hiding a monstrous secret, she was trusting Riley with it. And trust, Riley realized, was far more dangerous than fear. That night, as the retreat participants gathered around a campfire for forced bonding, Riley watched Ashley from across the flames. Ashley looked like her usual self, composed, elegant, breathtaking in a way she shouldn't be. But every now and then, Ashley's eyes drifted toward Riley, softening dangerously. And Riley felt something shift inside her, something she refused to name, something that whispered of danger wrapped in longing. She didn't know how close Ashley planned to keep her. She didn't know what consequences lay ahead. But she knew one thing for certain. Whatever this was, whatever fragile, impossible connection had formed between them, was only beginning. Riley woke the next morning with a strange, disorienting certainty that her life had been split cleanly in two, before last night, when Ashley Hansen was merely an untouchable CEO with a surgically cold presence, and after last night, when Riley had seen the woman burst into something ancient and feral beneath the moonlight. The thought should have terrified her. It did terrify her. But underneath the fear, something else pulsed, a pulse she didn't understand, a magnetic ache that made her hyper-aware of Ashley in a way she had never been before. The retreat's second day began with managerial workshops, long tables arranged in a horseshoe shape, executives positioned at the front like lecturers, and employees scribbling notes they knew no one would ever read again. Riley sat among them, pretending to focus, but her eyes kept drifting to the front of the room where Ashley sat in rigid silence. The CEO was impossibly composed, her hair pulled tightly back, her posture flawless, her expression cold enough to freeze rain, but Riley saw what no one else did. The slight tremor in Ashley's fingers whenever she reached for her pen, the subtle tightness in her jaw, the faint pallor of someone fighting something inside their own skin. Riley's stomach clenched. Ashley had said she transformed during the full moon, yet the moon was shrinking now. Shouldn't the danger be over? Or was there more to this curse than Riley understood? When the workshop ended, Ashley stood and returned her pen to the table, but instead of walking toward the other executives, she crossed the room straight toward Riley. Conversations died instantly. Heads turned. People straightened in their seats, sensing something unusual. Ashley never approached employees casually. Ever. But she stopped in front of Riley like she belonged there, her voice low, steady, and unmistakably intimate. "Walk with me." Riley felt her pulse jump. She rose quickly, ignoring the curious looks, and followed Ashley out of the lodge and into the cold mountain air. The sky was a muted gray, clouds rolling over the peaks like restless waves. Ashley kept her arms crossed tightly over her chest, walking faster than necessary toward a narrow path that led deeper into the forest. "Are you all right?" Riley finally asked when she caught up. Ashley stopped. For a long moment, she didn't turn around. Riley watched her shoulders rise and fall, saw the strain in the rigid line of her back. "I'm fine," Ashley said, but the way her voice cracked on the word betrayed her. "Ashley." Riley took a cautious step closer. "You don't look fine." Ashley's jaw tightened, but she didn't argue. Instead, she exhaled a long, uneven breath and turned to face Riley fully. Up close, her eyes looked different, not colder, but brighter, sharper, almost reflective. Riley felt her breath catch. "Last night wasn't the worst of it," Ashley admitted quietly. "Sometimes the days after are unpredictable. My senses are heightened. My emotions aren't always stable. And my body still wants to finish the transformation even when the moon doesn't demand it." Riley stared at her. "Does anyone else know?" Ashley shook her head instantly.
No.
"No one. Except you." There was something aching and vulnerable in the way she said it. Something that felt like trust bleeding through a crack Ashley couldn't seal fast enough. Riley's throat tightened. "I won't let anything happen to you," she said softly, surprising even herself with the conviction in her voice. Ashley blinked, startled. You think you could stop me if something did? Riley hesitated.
No.
But I could stay with you. Make sure you don't go through it alone. Something flickered in Ashley's eyes, something raw and unguarded that made Riley's chest constrict. Ashley stepped closer, then closer again, until the cold wind disappeared, and all Riley could feel was the warmth radiating from the woman in front of her. Riley, Ashley whispered, her voice trembling with restrained emotion, I don't know why you're not running from me. Riley swallowed. Maybe because I saw you at your worst, and I didn't see a monster. Ashley inhaled sharply, her control slipping for half a heartbeat. But then she straightened and forced her walls back up. We should get to work, she said, her tone suddenly businesslike, though her eyes betrayed her. There's a lot you need to learn before you start in your new role. She began walking again, but this time Riley sensed the tension rolling off her like static. They reached an outdoor pavilion overlooking the valley, a place apparently reserved for executive workshops. Ashley stepped beneath the wooden beams and gestured for Riley to join her. This, Ashley said, pulling a thick binder from a bag someone had placed there earlier, is everything the board sees. Financial projections, private reports, confidential acquisitions, risk assessments. You'll have access to all of it. Riley felt her eyes widen. Ashley, this is too much responsibility for one person. It's not responsibility, Ashley said softly, her gaze locking onto Riley in a way that stole the air from her lungs. It's trust. Riley felt heat spread through her chest. She opened the binder and tried to focus, but Ashley stood too close, her presence overwhelming, her scent warm and unfamiliar, sending a shiver up Riley's spine. This wasn't how CEOs trained employees. This wasn't how Ashley interacted with anyone. She leaned in to point at a chart, and Riley felt her shoulder brush against Ashley's. Ashley froze. So did Riley. The touch was brief, accidental, harmless, yet something electric pulsed between them, something that made Ashley inhale sharply and step back as though burned. Sorry, Ashley murmured, though her voice was unsteady. My senses are heightened today. Riley nodded quickly, trying to steady her own breathing. They continued working, but every time Riley looked up, she found Ashley watching her, not with cold calculation, but with something far more dangerous. And then it happened. A sudden gust of wind ripped through the pavilion, sending loose papers flying. Riley reached to grab them, but Ashley reacted faster. Too fast. One moment she was standing beside Riley. The next she crossed the pavilion in a blur, catching every sheet midair with reflexes no human should possess. Riley gasped, stumbling backward. Ashley froze, realization dawning across her face. Her pupils had narrowed, her posture tightened, her breathing sharp and uneven. Ashley, Riley whispered carefully, you're changing. Ashley's hands trembled around the papers. No, I can control it, I can, but Riley could see the truth in Ashley's eyes. The shift was starting again. Not a full transformation, not yet, but the signs were unmistakable, the tension in her muscles, the faint glow behind her irises, the way her nails pressed into the pages like claws. Riley, Ashley breathed, panic cracking her voice. You need to step back. No, Riley said, stepping forward instead. You're not going through this alone. I'm dangerous, Ashley warned. I could hurt you. Riley shook her head. If you wanted to hurt me, you already would have. Those words broke something open in Ashley, something fearful, something desperate, something deeply human. She backed against one of the pavilion beams, gripping it as if grounding herself. Her breath came in ragged pulls, her body fighting an invisible war. Riley didn't hesitate. She placed her hands gently on Ashley's arms.
Warm.
Trembling. Strong in a way that felt inhuman, and yet fragile in a way Riley never expected. Ashley's breath hitched. Riley, I'm here, Riley whispered. Just focus on my voice. Ashley closed her eyes, leaning into Riley's touch. Minutes passed long, tense, silent. before Ashley's breathing finally steadied and her muscles relaxed. When her eyes opened again, the glow had dimmed. The danger had passed. Riley let out the breath she'd been holding. Ashley looked at her with an expression so unguarded it made Riley's heart ache. Gratitude.
Fear.
And something else, something warm, something fragile, something that shouldn't exist but undeniably did. You stayed, Ashley whispered. Riley nodded. Of course I did. Ashley's voice softened to a tremor. I don't deserve that. Let me decide what you deserve, Riley replied. The silence between them hummed with electricity. Then footsteps echoed in the distance, colleagues approaching the pavilion. Ashley straightened immediately, pulling her CEO mask back on with breathtaking speed. But her eyes, God, her eyes, lingered on Riley with something that didn't belong in a workplace, or a forest, or anywhere two people were supposed to remain professional. Something that promised everything was about to get far more complicated. The rest of the afternoon unfolded with a strange, crackling tension that neither Riley nor Ashley acknowledged aloud, but both of them felt in every glance, every breath, every accidental brush of hands. Riley could feel Ashley watching her even when the CEO pretended not to, those sharp blue eyes softened by something that didn't belong in boardrooms or training sessions. Something dangerously close to longing. But Ashley was too disciplined to let herself slip again. After the moment in the pavilion where Riley had steadied her through a near transformation, Ashley kept her distance, not physically, because she insisted Riley stay beside her at all times, but emotionally, putting up layer after layer of polished CEO composure as if terrified Riley might see the cracks forming underneath. By late afternoon, the retreat organizers announced the night's team-building event, a mandatory, guided moonlit hike through the forests surrounding the lodge. Everyone groaned. Everyone except Ashley, whose expression flickered so sharply Riley barely caught it.
Fear. Dread.
And something like calculation. When the employees regrouped by the trail entrance at sunset, Riley felt uneasy. The sky was a smear of deep purple and fading gold, the kind of twilight that felt suspended between worlds. Ashley stood near the front with the executives, her coat pulled tightly around her, her jaw stiff with tension. Riley moved toward her, lowering her voice. Is this a bad idea for you? Ashley didn't look at her. It's a terrible idea. Then why are you here? Ashley finally turned, her eyes catching the last sliver of fading sunlight. Because I don't have a choice. The board is already suspicious about my absences last night. If I disappear again, someone will start asking questions. And your condition? Riley pressed, her voice barely above a whisper. It shouldn't trigger, Ashley said, though the tremor in her voice told a different story. The moon is waning. It's safe. It should be safe. Should. That word scraped across Riley's nerves like metal. The hike began with artificial cheer. HR staff led the way with lanterns, managers forced small talk, employees tripped over uneven routes pretending to enjoy themselves. But the deeper they walked into the forest, the darker the atmosphere became. The lantern light stretched thin against the encroaching shadows. The wind slithered between the trees, carrying scents Riley couldn't identify. Earth, bark, something metallic. And something that made Ashley flinch. Riley kept close to her, their shoulders almost brushing. Ashley's breath was tight, controlled, as if every inhale took effort. Ashley, Riley whispered, if anything starts to feel wrong, I'll handle it. Ashley cut in, her voice sharper than intended. But then, after a beat, softer. Just stay close. Please. The group continued up a narrow incline. Riley noticed Ashley's hands clenching and unclenching at her sides, her steps growing more rigid. A twig snapped somewhere behind them, not from the group, but deeper in the trees. Ashley stopped cold. Riley felt it too, an instinct she didn't know she had. The forest had shifted, gone quiet, listening. Before Riley could speak, the HR guide laughed nervously. Probably just a deer. He kept walking. But Ashley didn't move. Her breathing changed, shallow, sharp, uneven. Riley's heart lurched. Ashley? Ashley closed her eyes as if in pain. My senses are too strong, she whispered. Something's wrong out here. Riley swallowed. What do you feel? Ashley opened her eyes, and Riley sucked in a breath at the faint, unnatural glow beginning to gather behind them. Something hunting, Ashley said softly. And not me. Riley's stomach dropped. What does that mean? Ashley didn't get the chance to answer. A scream tore through the forest. The group jolted as one. Lanterns swung wildly. Someone shouted a name. Another screamed for help. The world dissolved into chaos. Riley's heart pounded as she grabbed Ashley's sleeve. We have to go. Someone might be hurt. Ashley's expression shifted into pure instinct, predator instinct. Her head snapped toward the sound, her posture sharpening into something fierce and inhuman. Ashley, Riley warned, you can't expose yourself. If there's something out here, Ashley growled under her breath, it's not letting them leave. Riley froze at the sound of her voice, deeper, rougher, shaking with the beginnings of a transformation. Ashley, she whispered, panic rising, you're changing. Not yet. Ashley shut her eyes, forcing control back into her limbs with visible agony. I can hold it, but you need to stay behind me. She stepped forward, muscles tight, breath ragged, every movement a war with herself. Riley followed because she couldn't imagine doing anything else. They pushed through the brush, following the terrified voices until they reached a small clearing. 2 employees huddled near a fallen log, lanterns shaking in their trembling hands. One pointed into the darkness. Something moved, fast. We thought it was a wolf. Ashley inhaled sharply, scenting the air in a way that was far too precise to be human. A wolf won't attack a group, Ashley murmured. Not unless. She stopped abruptly. Riley stepped closer. Unless what? Ashley didn't answer. Didn't need to. A rustling sound came from their left. Ashley moved instantly, positioning herself between Riley and the shadows, her fingers curling like claws as if ready to strike. Show yourself, Ashley said, her voice carrying an authority that felt primal. For a tense, breathless moment, nothing happened. Then a large figure stepped out, antlers. A deer. Just a deer. Riley exhaled shakily while the others laughed nervously. But Ashley didn't relax. She stared at the deer with too much intensity, her nostrils flaring, muscles rigid. Something spooked it, Ashley murmured. Deer don't run through human groups unless they're being chased. Riley touched her arm. We should lead everyone back. Ashley hesitated, torn between instinct and logic. Finally, she nodded tightly. Stay close. They herded the terrified employees back toward the main trail. But halfway down, Riley's foot slipped on loose dirt. She stumbled, grabbing for a tree branch, but missed. She fell sideways off the narrow trail, rolling down a short slope and hitting the ground hard. Pain flared in her shoulder. Riley. Ashley's voice sliced through the panic. Riley tried to push herself up, but her ankles screamed. She turned toward the trail and froze. Ashley was already halfway down the slope, moving with supernatural speed. Riley had seen her react quickly before, but this was different. Desperate. Terrifyingly fast. Ashley reached her in seconds, dropping to her knees. Are you hurt? Riley winced. My ankle may be twisted. Ashley reached out and carefully cradled Riley's leg, her touch impossibly gentle, her breathing ragged from restraining the shift surging through her. I've got you, Ashley murmured. Her voice trembled. Not with fear, something deeper. I'm not losing you out here. Riley's heart stuttered. Ashley, I'm okay. No, Ashley whispered fiercely, her forehead nearly touching Riley's. You don't understand. When you fell, I felt. She cut herself off, jaw tightening. It doesn't matter. But it did. Riley felt it. Something electric crackled between them, something hot and unspoken. Riley lifted her hand, brushing Ashley's arm in the faintest touch. Ashley inhaled sharply, eyes darkening. Not with danger, but with emotion. But voices echoed up the trail, employees calling out, lantern light approaching. Ashley's expression shuddered instantly. She lifted Riley effortlessly, as if she weighed nothing, and carried her back up the slope with an ease no human should possess. Riley clung to her, breath catching at the strength in Ashley's arms, the protective hold that felt nothing like corporate professionalism. When they reached the trail, Ashley set her down gently but stepped back quickly, as if afraid of what she might do if she stayed too close. Her breathing was uneven, her pupils large, her hands trembling. "We're ending the hike," Ashley announced to the startled group, her CEO voice crisp but strained. Everyone back to the lodge.
Now.
As they walked, Riley leaned slightly on Ashley for support. Her ankle throbbed, but the closeness overwhelmed everything else. She could feel Ashley's body heat, the tension in her muscles, the way Ashley kept glancing at her as though to reassure herself Riley was still there. By the time they reached the lodge, Ashley was barely holding herself together. She pulled Riley aside near the entrance, her voice low and urgent. "Meet me tonight," Ashley whispered, "after everyone's asleep, in the same clearing as before." Riley's breath caught. "Why?" Ashley's eyes softened with something unbearably vulnerable. "Because you deserve the truth. All of it. And because I can't keep pretending this." Her voice faltered. "I can't keep pretending nothing is happening between us." Riley's heart thundered. Ashley stepped closer, their bodies almost touching. "Please, Riley. Come." And then she walked away before Riley could answer, leaving behind a silence filled with fear, longing, and something dangerously close to desire. Riley spent the entire evening unable to sit still, her thoughts spinning in endless circles as she replayed Ashley's words, "Meet me tonight. You deserve the truth. I can't keep pretending nothing is happening between us." The retreat lodge buzzed with nervous chatter after the chaotic hike, but all Riley could feel was the thrum of anticipation beneath her skin, a magnetic pull dragging her toward the forest even before the clock neared midnight. The moment the hallways quieted and the last lights dimmed, she slipped out the back door and stepped into the cold night air. The forest was darker than before, the moon nothing more than a thin silver blade cutting through the clouds, but Riley didn't hesitate. Her heart guided her feet. She followed the narrow path to the clearing where everything had changed, where she had first seen Ashley break apart and reform into something impossible, where fear and fascination had entwined until Riley could no longer tell them apart. As she entered the clearing, she stopped mid-step. Ashley was already there, standing at the center of the moonlit space with her back turned, the wind tugging lightly at her hair, her silhouette carved in sharp lines against the pale glow. Even from behind, Riley felt the tension radiating from her, a coil wound too tightly. When Riley stepped closer, Ashley turned slowly, and the sight of her stole Riley's breath. She wasn't polished like the CEO Riley knew. Her hair was loose and slightly tousled, her expression raw, her eyes shimmering with something close to fear, yet unmistakably threaded with longing. "You came," Ashley whispered, as if she hadn't truly believed she would. Riley swallowed, her voice soft. "You ask." Ashley took a step forward, stopping far too close for Riley to think clearly. "I wasn't sure you'd still trust me," she murmured. "After everything you've seen." Riley's chest tightened. "Ashley, I don't trust easily. But with you, somehow it feels different." Ashley inhaled sharply, her eyes flicking over Riley's face, as if searching for something she didn't dare ask for. Then she looked away, jaw tensing. "You deserve answers," she said. "The truth is complicated. Old. Dark." Riley shook her head gently. "I'm not afraid of the truth." Ashley let out a humorless breath. "You should be." Riley stepped even closer, their bodies separated by inches. "Tell me anyway." Ashley hesitated, and for a moment Riley thought she wouldn't speak at all. But then Ashley lifted her chin, vulnerability slicing through her composure. "My family has carried this curse for generations," she began. "A bloodline bound to the moon, to instincts we can't escape. We transform during full moons, yes, but the days before and after are worse. Everything in me becomes heightened. Every emotion, every sense, every desire." The way she said desire sent a shiver down Riley's spine. Ashley noticed. Her breath faltered. Riley's heart hammered. Ashley looked away again, as if ashamed. I fight it constantly. Control is the only reason I can lead the company. If the board knew what I was. Riley stepped closer until Ashley was forced to meet her eyes. You're not a monster. Ashley laughed softly, brokenly. Riley, I could have hurt you. But you didn't. Ashley's voice dropped to something barely audible. Because of you. You study me. You don't run. And it terrifies me more than the curse ever has. Something molten and electric swirled in Riley's chest. Ashley, when you fell today, Ashley said, her voice trembling with emotion she could no longer hide, something inside me snapped. Not the curse me. I felt panic so immediate, so consuming, it was like my entire world narrowed to one thought. Get to her. Protect her. Don't let her disappear. Riley exhaled shakily. Why? Ashley took a slow, trembling step closer until Riley's breath mingled with hers. Because I care about you, Ashley whispered. More than I should. More than is safe. Riley's heartbeat tripped, then surged. Ashley, and if I let myself want you, Ashley continued, voice barely steady, I can't promise I'll be able to hold back. Not with everything sharpened like this. Not with how you look at me. Riley's lips parted. How do I look at you? Ashley swallowed hard, her eyes darkening with emotion. Like you're drawn to me. Like you see something you shouldn't. Like you want something you're afraid to admit. Riley felt heat flood her face, her breath catching. But she didn't deny it. Couldn't. Because Ashley stepped closer, slow, hesitant, tortured, and Riley didn't move away. Riley, Ashley whispered, her forehead lowering until it touched Riley's. Tell me to stop. Riley's breath trembled. I don't want you to stop. Ashley's eyes closed for a single, aching moment. And then Riley felt it. The slightest brush of Ashley's lips against hers, feather-light, hesitant, as if each atom of the kiss was a question waiting for permission. Riley answered by leaning in the tiniest bit, her lips ghosting against Ashley's in return. That was all it took. The kiss deepened, slow at first, then fuller, richer, breathtakingly intense. Ashley's hand rose to Riley's jaw with a tenderness that contradicted every rumor ever told about her, her thumb brushing Riley's cheek in a motion so intimate Riley's knees nearly gave out. Riley's fingers found Ashley's coat, curling into the fabric as the world vanished around them. The forest, the cold, the moon, everything dissolved into warmth, into the soft, desperate sound Ashley made when she pulled Riley closer, into the way Ashley kissed her like she'd been holding back for years. There was no rush, no hunger meant to consume, just intensity, raw and simmering, a tension that thrummed with pure longing rather than anything physical. Ashley kissed her with restraint and desire tangled together, with fear and need and worship all at once. It was a kiss that said I shouldn't. It was a kiss that said I can't stop. It was a kiss that said you steady the chaos in me. When they finally pulled apart, breathing uneven, Ashley kept her forehead pressed to Riley's, her fingers still trembling on Riley's skin. Riley, she whispered, as if the name alone held her together. You're going to be the end of my control. Riley's voice came out soft, shaking. Maybe you don't need as much control as you think. Ashley let out a quiet, broken exhale, full of emotion she couldn't hide anymore. If I lose control, I lose myself. Not with me, Riley said gently. Ashley pulled back just enough to look into her eyes. Riley, I don't know how to want you safely. Riley's heart squeezed painfully. Then let's figure it out. Together. For the first time since Riley had known her, Ashley looked utterly undone, hopeful, afraid, and alive all at once. She cupped Riley's face with both hands, her touch reverent. God, Ashley whispered. What are you doing to me? Riley didn't know the answer. But she knew one thing. Whatever this was between them, it wasn't slowing down. It was consuming them both, slowly, intensely, inevitably. Riley barely slept after the kiss, her mind replaying every second with aching clarity, the hesitant brush of lips, the trembling exhale against her skin, the way Ashley's hands had held her face, as if afraid she'd disappear. She lay awake long after returning to her room, staring at the dark ceiling while her heartbeat refused to settle. She had crossed a line. Ashley had crossed a line. And yet Riley felt no regret, only a pull, deep and inexplicable, that made her chest tighten whenever she thought of Ashley whispering her name in the moonlit clearing. Morning arrived slowly, with pale sunlight bleeding through the curtains. Riley rose, dressed, and forced her shaking hands to remain steady as she made her way downstairs for the retreat's final workshops. She told herself she would act normal, professional, collected. But all her composure collapsed the moment she saw Ashley enter the hall. Ashley looked devastating. Beautiful in a way that was almost painful, hair perfectly styled, expression carefully neutral, steps controlled with military precision. But Riley saw what no one else could: the flicker of tension in Ashley's jaw, the too quick swallow, the faint tremor in her fingers. And the way her eyes darted to Riley instantly, even though she tried to pretend they didn't. Riley's breath hitched. Ashley's gaze collided with hers for half a heartbeat, and something electric snapped invisibly between them. Then Ashley tore her eyes away so abruptly it looked like physical pain. Without a word, Ashley strode to the front of the room to speak with department heads, her posture impossibly straight, her shoulders rigid. Riley could almost hear the internal battle raging inside her. After the kiss, Ashley didn't know how to look at her. Didn't know how to not look at her. Riley took her seat, but her eyes were drawn to Ashley again and again. It wasn't just attraction anymore, it was gravity. Something that pulled without asking permission. The workshop began. People talked. Pages turned. But Ashley kept her distance, wearing professionalism like armor, refusing to even glance in Riley's direction. Riley tried to focus on the presentation, but her mind was a storm. She could still feel the ghost of Ashley's lips on hers, still hear the fragile tremor in Ashley's voice when she'd whispered, "Please, come." Still feel the way Ashley had melted into the kiss before pulling away, like someone afraid of the fire they'd started. Suddenly, a hand tapped Riley's shoulder. She flinched, startled out of her thoughts. It was Aaron, a junior manager known for being observant, too observant. Aaron leaned closer. "Is everything okay?" she whispered. Riley forced a smile. "Of course." Aaron's eyes narrowed slightly. "You seem distracted. And Ashley seems tense. Really tense." Riley's stomach dropped. "She's always intense," Riley said lightly. But Aaron glanced between them again, suspicion sharp in her gaze. Riley turned away quickly, anxiety prickling up her spine. She had forgotten there were other eyes in the world besides Ashley's. The workshop dragged on, but Riley felt every second stretching like brittle glass. When the break finally came, she stood to refill her coffee, only to freeze when Ashley brushed past her. Not collided, not touched, just passed close enough for Riley to feel her warmth, close enough for their arms to nearly graze. But Ashley recoiled instantly, as if proximity itself burned her. Then, in a low voice meant for Riley alone, she whispered, "Not here." Riley's breath caught. Ashley didn't look back. She walked straight out of the room, her steps too fast, too stiff. Riley hesitated only a moment before following. She found Ashley in a quiet hallway near the back of the lodge, one hand braced against the wall, her breathing shallow. "Ashley?" Riley whispered. Ashley didn't turn. "You shouldn't be here." "You asked me to come." Ashley let out a shaky breath. "That was last night. And I wasn't thinking clearly." Riley stepped closer, slowly, carefully. "Do you regret it?" Ashley stiffened. "I can't afford not to." Riley's heart clenched. "But do you?" Silence. A long, trembling silence. Then Ashley finally spoke, voice barely audible. "No," Riley exhaled shakily, her pulse quickening. Ashley's shoulders relaxed an inch, but her hands trembled. Riley took another step closer. "Ashley, look at me." Ashley hesitated, then turned slowly. And Riley's breath left her. Ashley looked undone. Eyes too bright, chest rising too quickly, the control on her features thin as glass. You have no idea what you do to me, Ashley whispered. Last night, I haven't felt something like that in years. Riley swallowed. Then why are you running from me? Ashley took a step back, but Riley stepped forward. And the movement changed something in Ashley instantly. Her pupils dilated. Her breath caught. She gripped the wall again, knuckles white. Riley, she warned, voice shaking, don't get closer. Why not? Because my body is reacting to you, Ashley whispered, the confession trembling out of her. Riley froze. Reacting how? Ashley closed her eyes tightly. Every part of the curse heightens my instincts, my senses, my urges. And when you're near me, Riley amplifies everything. Riley's breath caught. Everything. Ashley opened her eyes slowly, and the hunger in them nearly stole Riley's voice. Everything, Ashley repeated. Riley felt warmth spread through her chest, her pulse thundering. Ashley shook her head, stepping back again. If I lose control, you won't, Riley said gently. You won't hurt me. Ashley laughed softly, painfully. You say that like you know. I do know. Ashley inhaled sharply, as if Riley's certainty struck something deep inside her. And then footsteps echoed at the end of the hall. Aaron again. Riley stepped away immediately. Aaron glanced between them, eyes narrowing with suspicion. Everything all right? Ashley straightened instantly, her CEO mask snapping back into place with brutal efficiency. Perfectly fine, she said coolly. But her voice was too sharp. Aaron's gaze sharpened. Riley looked down, pretending not to notice. When Aaron left, Ashley turned back to Riley, but this time her expression held fear. They're noticing, Ashley whispered. We can't be seen alone again today. Riley nodded reluctantly. What do you need from me? Ashley hesitated. Distance. Riley's heart dropped. But then Ashley stepped closer, so close Riley could feel her breath. Just for today, Ashley murmured, her eyes searching Riley's. Not tonight. Riley's pulse skipped. Tonight? Ashley swallowed hard. Meet me after sunset. I can't think when you're this close, and I need to understand what's happening to me. Riley nodded, breathless. Ashley brushed past her again. Another near touch, another electric jolt neither of them controlled. But before she left, she paused and whispered, And Riley, whatever you do, don't let anyone know what happened last night. Riley managed a soft, I won't. Ashley's eyes softened, full of longing she could no longer hide. Good. Because the way I kissed you, if anyone finds out, it won't be the curse that destroys me. It'll be them. And then she walked away, not cold, not distant, but unraveling. And Riley knew one thing with absolute clarity. Tonight, whatever bound them together, emotion, danger, desire, fate, would only grow stronger. And they were both already in too deep to turn back. Riley spent the rest of the afternoon feeling as though her skin vibrated with anticipation. Every beat of her pulse synced to the memory of Ashley's voice whispering tonight. She tried to lose herself in the scheduled activities, tried to pretend her world hadn't tilted completely on its axis, but every sound, every shift of light, every passing moment only made the tension coil tighter inside her. Ashley avoided her with ruthless discipline. She moved from group to group with calculated precision, answering questions, smoothing out logistical issues, carrying herself like nothing in her meticulously controlled life had changed. But Riley could see the cracks. She saw the way Ashley's breath caught whenever their eyes met across the room. She saw the quick flicker of Ashley's fingers curling into her palm, like she was physically restraining herself from walking toward Riley. She saw the slight tremble in Ashley's jaw whenever someone else stepped too close to Riley, as if her instincts reacted before she could stop them. By sunset, the retreat participants gathered for the closing dinner. Laughter rose from the lodge dining hall, but Riley felt detached from all of it, her senses tuned only to one presence. Ashley entered the room last, wearing a tailored charcoal suit that fit her so perfectly it made Riley's heart stop. She looked powerful, controlled, dangerous. But her eyes, those sharp, impossibly blue eyes, softened for a heartbeat when she saw Riley. Just a heartbeat. Then the mask slid back into place. Riley forced herself to eat, though she couldn't taste anything. Her mind pulsed with one thought. What would tonight bring? Would Ashley explain why the curse reacted to Riley? Would she admit she felt something deeper? Or would she retreat behind her fear again? The questions stirred inside her until the dinner ended and the employees drifted toward their rooms to pack for the morning's departure. Riley didn't go to her room. She slipped out the back door and into the cold night air, her heart pounding in her chest. The forest was darker than usual, clouds smothering the moon. The path to the clearing felt both familiar and terrifying now, a place where boundaries dissolved and truths refused to stay buried. When she reached the clearing, she wasn't surprised to find Ashley already there. Ashley stood rigidly, hands clasped tightly in front of her, expression unreadable. But her eyes, God, her eyes gave everything away. She was nervous, terrified, and burning with something she couldn't hide. Riley stepped into the clearing, her voice barely a whisper. Ashley. Ashley inhaled sharply, as if her name alone shook her. Riley. Silence stretched between them, heavy and charged. Riley approached slowly, careful not to spook whatever fragile control Ashley was clinging to. You said you wanted to understand what's happening to you, Riley said softly. And to us. Ashley's lips parted, but no sound came for a moment. Then, I don't know where to start. Riley stepped closer. Start with what you're feeling. Ashley let out a soft, broken laugh. Everything. Too much. When I'm near you, my instincts sharpen. My emotions sharpen. My body reacts as if she cut herself off, shaking her head. Riley's voice was gentle. As if what? Ashley hesitated, her voice trembling. As if you're tied to the curse. Riley blinked. Tied how? Ashley stepped back, her control fracturing. I've been fighting this transformation for years. I've learned every breath I need to take, every trick to suppress the shift, every mental wall to keep it from swallowing me. But ever since you saw me, ever since that night, everything feels different. Stronger. Unpredictable. Riley swallowed. Because of this secret? Ashley shook her head.
No.
Because of you. The words hit Riley like a physical force. Ashley, when you're close, Ashley continued, voice soft and shaking, the shift becomes stronger. But so does something else. Something I don't have a name for. Riley felt heat flood her chest. And what does it feel like? Ashley stepped toward her, slowly, like every movement was a fight between instinct and reason. It feels like need, she whispered. Not hunger. Not the curse.
Just you.
Riley felt her breath catch. Ashley lifted a hand shakily, brushing a feather-light touch across Riley's wrist. Riley shivered. The contact was gentle, but powerful enough to make Ashley inhale sharply, her eyes darkening. See. Ashley whispered. It's happening again. Riley held her ground. What if it's not something bad? Ashley laughed quietly, but it wasn't amusement, it was fear. It can't be good, Riley. People like me don't get things like this. We get curses. We get isolation. We don't get... Riley stepped closer, their shoes touching. Connection? Ashley's breath trembled. Yes. Riley's hand rose slowly, almost without her permission, reaching up to touch Ashley's cheek. Ashley flinched, not away, but toward the touch, like she'd been starving for it her entire life. Ashley, Riley whispered, you're not dangerous to me. Ashley closed her eyes, leaning into her touch, her jaw tightening with emotion she couldn't control.
You don't understand.
If I lose control near you, I trust you, Riley said softly. Ashley opened her eyes, and what Riley saw there, the longing, the conflict, the fear, the instinct, the desire, made her breath tremble. I don't trust myself, Ashley whispered. But I do, Riley replied. That has to count for something. Something in Ashley broke then. Not in a destructive way, but in a way that looked like surrender.
Slow.
Reluctant. Overwhelming. She reached out, her fingertips brushing Riley's waist, hesitating there as though seeking permission. Riley nodded, barely perceptible. Ashley's hand slid around her, pulling Riley closer until they were chest to chest, breath mingling, heartbeat thundering. "Riley," Ashley whispered, the word breaking in the middle. "Tell me why I feel like I'm losing myself every time I look at you." Riley lifted her hand to Ashley's jaw and whispered, "Maybe you're not losing yourself. Maybe you're finding something." Ashley's breath hitched. And then the forest shifted, the wind stilled, the night air thickened, and something ancient and electric pulled taut between them. Ashley stepped forward, closing the last sliver of distance. Her fingers tightened at Riley's waist. Riley's hand rose to the back of Ashley's neck, pulling her closer. Their foreheads pressed together. Their breaths synced. And then Ashley whispered, "I shouldn't." Riley whispered back, "I want you to." That was all it took. Ashley kissed her. This kiss was different, deeper, hungrier, more desperate, but still careful in its intensity. Without explicitness, without anything physical beyond their mouths and their trembling hands, the kiss was intimacy distilled, longing sharpened to a fine edge, restraint trembling under the surface, desire woven through every breath. Riley felt Ashley's fingers dig into her waist, as if grounding herself. Ashley felt Riley's hand slide into her hair, pulling her closer. They kissed like the world might break around them. They kissed like everything forbidden and everything inevitable. And when Ashley finally pulled away, her breath was unsteady, her lips parted, her eyes dark with emotion. "Riley," she whispered, "there's something else you need to know." Riley swallowed, her heart racing. "What is it?" Ashley hesitated, too long. And that hesitation fractured the night. A sound tore through the forest. Not a deer, not a branch snapping. Something deeper, something wrong. Ashley's expression changed instantly. Fear, instinct, recognition. "We're not alone," she whispered. And for the first time since Riley had known her, Ashley looked genuinely afraid. For a moment, neither of them moved. Riley stood frozen in Ashley's arms, her breath still trembling from the kiss, her pulse still racing with the force of everything they'd just admitted without saying aloud. But the sound, the deep, guttural sound echoing through the trees, ripped through the clearing again, sharper this time, closer. Ashley's entire body tensed. She stepped instinctively in front of Riley, her posture shifting from vulnerable to protective in a single heartbeat. "Ashley," Riley whispered, gripping her arm. "What was that?" Ashley didn't answer at first. Her eyes scanned the tree line with inhuman precision, her chest rising and falling too fast. Her pupils dilated, reflecting the faint moonlight like an animal's. "We need to move," Ashley murmured, her voice suddenly low, controlled, dangerous. She reached for Riley's hand and pulled her toward the shadowed edge of the clearing. Riley followed, stumbling slightly. "Wait, Ashley, what's out there?" Ashley stopped abruptly, turning to her with a look so intense it pinned Riley in place. "Not here," Ashley whispered. "I'll explain, but not out in the open." "We have to." The growl cut her off. Louder this time. Closer. And not from a single direction, multiple. Riley's blood went cold. "There's more than one?" Ashley's jaw clenched. "Run." But before either of them could move, something massive shot out from the tree line to their right. A dark blur, a shape too fast for Riley's eyes to track. Ashley reacted instantly. Her arm wrapped around Riley's waist, pulling her sharply behind her just as a creature slammed into the ground where Riley had been standing. Riley screamed. The creature, if it could be called that, lifted its head. It had the twisted shape of a wolf, but wrong somehow. Larger, leaner, with elongated limbs and eyes that glowed an unnatural yellow. A snarl ripped from its throat, vibrating the air. Riley stumbled backward, but Ashley stepped forward, her entire body shifting subtly, muscles tightening beneath her clothes, her shoulders angling as if preparing to fight. Not run.
Fight.
The creature lunged. Ashley met it halfway. For a split second, Riley thought she saw Ashley's arm lengthen unnaturally, her nails sharpen, her features flicker with something feral. Then Ashley slammed into the creature with a force no human could produce. They crashed into the ground in a whirl of fur and limbs and raw sound. Riley gasped, fear constricting her chest. Ashley. But Ashley didn't seem to hear her. She moved with terrifying precision, dodging the creature's snapping jaws and delivering a hard strike to its ribs. It yelped, recoiling. Ashley's breath came out in sharp, barely controlled bursts, her eyes glowing faintly blue, her jaw clenched in a way that was not humanly possible. Riley took a step forward, but another growl echoed behind her. She spun around, another creature, emerging from the shadows. Its gaze locked on her. Riley stumbled back, panic seizing her lungs. Ashley. Ashley tore her attention away from the creature she'd been fighting. When she saw the second one creeping toward Riley, something snapped inside her. Get away from her. The snarl that left Ashley's mouth wasn't human. It vibrated with something ancient, powerful, and deeply territorial. The creature hesitated, but only for a moment, before leaping toward Riley. Ashley moved faster than thought. 1 second she was several feet away. The next she collided with the second creature, knocking it off its trajectory. But the effort cost her. She hit the ground hard with the creature on top of her. Riley's entire body trembled as she watched the two beasts pin Ashley, snapping their jaws inches from her face. Stop! Riley cried, her voice cracking with terror. Ashley growled, a sound that shook Riley to her core. With impossible strength, she shoved one creature off, then kicked the other away. But Riley could see it in her eyes. Ashley was losing control. The pupils blown wide, the glow intensifying, the muscles beneath her skin rippling. Fighting the shift, she was desperate to hold back. Ashley, Riley screamed. Ashley forced out the words through clenched teeth, each syllable guttural and raw. Stay back. But Riley couldn't. She wouldn't. She stepped forward just as one of the creatures lunged at Ashley again. Without thinking, without fear, Riley grabbed a thick fallen branch and swung it at the creature with all her strength. It flinched, surprised, stumbling sideways. Ashley froze. Her glowing eyes snapped to Riley. Shock.
Fear.
And then something else, something primal, protective, furious that Riley had put herself in danger. The distraction cost her. The other creature leapt onto her, claws scraping against her coat, teeth aimed for her shoulder. Ashley, Riley screamed again. Something inside Ashley detonated. Her body arched, her hands digging into the dirt, her eyes blazing. A guttural roar tore from her throat, a sound so powerful the trees themselves seemed to vibrate. The creature stumbled back, suddenly uncertain. Ashley rose to her feet slowly, trembling, but taller somehow, stronger, something shifting beneath her skin with alarming speed. Ashley, Riley whispered, trembling, don't shift, please stay with me. But Ashley's body shook violently, her breath ragged. I'm trying, she gasped, voice mangled. The creatures circled her, confused now, not attacking, not retreating. Watching. Waiting. For what? Riley realized with horror what was happening. They recognized her. Not as prey. As one of their own. Or almost. Ashley forced another breath, fighting the transformation with every ounce of strength she possessed. Riley, she choked out, listen to me. You need to run.
Now.
Riley shook her head fiercely. I'm not leaving you. Riley, Ashley growled, and the vibration in her voice shook the air. Go. No. Riley stepped toward her. Ashley stepped back as if burned. Don't, Ashley whispered. If you touch me right now, I don't know what I'll do. Riley froze. Ashley's eyes flicked between Riley and the creatures. Her breath hitched. And then something impossible happened. One of the creatures turned toward Riley, and instead of attacking, it sniffed the air. Its glowing eyes narrowed, confused. It took a cautious step closer. Ashley's reaction was instantaneous and terrifying. Don't you touch her, Ashley roared. She lunged at the creature, tackling it with a force that sent both of them rolling across the clearing. The other creature vanished into the trees, fleeing. Ashley and the remaining creature fought with a ferocity that made Riley's heart stutter. And then, finally, Ashley overpowered it. The beast scrambled away and disappeared into the forest. Silence fell. Heavy. Terrifying. Ashley dropped to her knees, shaking violently, her hands digging into the dirt. Riley ran to her. Ashley, Ashley, look at me. Hey, please look at me. Ashley lifted her head slowly. Her eyes were glowing faintly, her features still tense with the transformation she was holding back by sheer force. Riley, she whispered, voice breaking. They were here because of you. Riley froze. What? Ashley swallowed hard, trembling. You're part of this. Somehow, I don't know how, but the curse reacts to you. They sensed you. They were drawn to you. Riley's breath caught. Ashley, what does that mean? Ashley shook her head weakly. It means I can't protect you the way I thought. It means everything is more dangerous now. And it means... She inhaled shakily, reaching up to cup Riley's cheek with trembling fingers. It means I can't lose you.
Not now.
Not after this. Riley covered Ashley's hand with her own, her voice soft but steady. You won't. Ashley leaned forward, her forehead touching Riley's, her breath warm against her lips. Riley, she whispered, I don't know what's happening to us. Riley whispered back, then we'll figure it out.
Together.
Ashley closed her eyes. And for the first time since Riley had met her, the powerful, invincible CEO whispered one word filled with fear, longing, and something dangerously close to devotion. Promise. Riley nodded, her voice barely a breath. I promise. And in that moment, kneeling together in the moonlit clearing, surrounded by danger they didn't yet understand, something ancient bound them tighter than any secret, any curse, any fear. Back in the lodge, everything felt too quiet, too normal, too human. Riley walked beside Ashley through the dimly lit hallway, her steps shaky, her heartbeat still pulsing with the echo of the creature's growls and the memory of Ashley's body trembling against hers in the clearing. The warmth of Ashley's hand still lingered on her cheek, her whispered promise still carved into Riley's skin like something permanent. The world outside had become a hunting ground for things neither of them fully understood, yet here, between the wooden walls of the retreat, soft music played faintly from the dining hall, and a few employees laughed near the staircase, unaware of the danger creeping around them. But the moment Riley and Ashley stepped inside, they both froze. Erin was standing near the entrance. Her eyes widened slightly, not enough to draw attention, but enough to send a chill down Riley's spine. Slowly, her gaze traced them both. Riley's disheveled clothes, the dirt on Ashley's coat, the scratches on Ashley's hands. Ashley straightened imperceptibly, her CEO mask snapping back into place like armor. You two are outside, Erin said, not a question. Ashley's voice turned crisp, sharp. Taking a walk. Erin's brows lifted. In the dark forest? Alone. Riley opened her mouth, but Ashley stepped forward, blocking Erin's line of sight. Is there a reason you're monitoring my movements? Ashley asked coolly. Erin flinched but recovered quickly. No, of course not. I just heard noises. Strange ones. Ashley's expression didn't change, but Riley felt the shift in her posture. Alert, calculating, one wrong word away from revealing too much. Erin continued, lowering her voice. Animals, maybe. I thought someone might be in danger. Her eyes flicked to Riley, then to Ashley. Something sharp flashed there. Concern? Suspicion?
Both.
Riley's stomach twisted. If Erin had heard anything, if she had seen even a glimpse, Ashley spoke first. Everything is under control. Her tone allowed no argument. Erin hesitated, then nodded slowly.
Right.
Well, I'm sure the two of you know what you're doing. She walked away, but her steps were too deliberate, too thoughtful. Riley watched her disappear around the corner. She's suspicious, Riley whispered. She saw something. Ashley turned toward her, jaw tight. What she saw doesn't matter. Riley frowned. Ashley, what matters, Ashley said, her voice low, is getting you out of here safely. Riley's chest tightened. Out of here? Ashley nodded once, decision already locked in place. We're leaving first thing in the morning. Together? Riley asked before she could stop herself. Ashley's breath hitched, almost imperceptibly. I need to keep you close, she admitted softly. You're not safe here. And I'm not risking another attack. Riley's heart pounded for reasons far beyond fear. But before she could respond, Ashley gently took her elbow, guiding her toward her room with a protectiveness that made Riley's chest ache. Once inside, Ashley shut the door behind them. The air thickened instantly, not with fear this time, but with awareness. Riley's awareness of Ashley. Ashley's awareness of Riley. The memory of the kiss pressed between them like a living thing. Ashley leaned against the door, closing her eyes for a moment as if steadying herself. Her breathing was uneven, not from exhaustion, but from the effort of keeping distance. Sit, Ashley whispered. Riley obeyed, sinking onto the edge of the bed. Ashley remained standing across the room, because the space between them was the only thing keeping her control intact. Her voice dropped to something raw. Riley, you need to understand what happened tonight. What those creatures were. Why they came. Riley nodded, waiting. Ashley's eyes softened in a way Riley rarely saw. My family's curse doesn't just affect us. It affects everything we're connected to. Bloodlines. Territory. Instinct. She swallowed. But it shouldn't affect you. Riley's breath caught. But it does. Ashley nodded once, slowly. Those creatures sense something in you. Something that ties you to the same magic that runs through my bloodline. Riley's pulse stuttered. That's impossible. I thought so too, Ashley whispered. Until tonight. Riley shook her head. I'm not supernatural. I'm not connected to any of this. Ashley stepped closer. Only an inch, but enough to make Riley's breath falter. There are two types of bonds in my lineage, Ashley explained. Blood bonds, between family members. And her voice faded into something unsteady. And instinct bonds. Riley frowned. What are those? Ashley hesitated. For the first time since Riley had met her, Ashley Hansen looked unsure. Scared. She ran a trembling hand through her hair. They're rare. Ancient. A connection formed between someone cursed and someone compatible. Riley blinked. Compatible? Someone whose energy, whose presence, whose very existence triggers our instincts, Ashley whispered. Heightens everything. The curse. The control. The desire. Riley's breath stopped. Desire? Ashley's eyes locked onto hers. Blue, vulnerable, burning. Yes. Riley felt heat climb her neck. Ashley. Ashley exhaled shakily, finally letting one truth slip free. I think you and I are forming an instinct bond. Riley's entire world narrowed to one point. What does that mean? Ashley's voice dropped to a trembling whisper. It means I'm drawn to you in ways I can't control. It means when you're near me, the shift becomes harder to fight but also easier in other ways. It means my body responds to you emotionally, physically, instinctively. Riley's pulse thundered. And the creatures? They sense the same bond forming, Ashley whispered. They were drawn to you because you're becoming part of my territory. Riley inhaled sharply. Territory. Ashley flinched, shaking her head. I know how it sounds. But it's not ownership. It's protection. It's recognition. She stopped abruptly, breathing hard, eyes searching Riley's. It's connection, Riley. A connection I haven't felt in my entire life. Riley rose from the bed slowly, her movements deliberate, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear, wonder, and something dangerously close to longing. Ashley went rigid immediately. Riley, don't. But Riley stepped forward anyway. Ashley, she whispered. Look at me. Ashley lifted her gaze reluctantly. Riley held it. Do you feel it now? Riley asked softly. Ashley's voice was barely a breath. God, yes. Then why does it scare you so much? Ashley swallowed hard. Because instinct bonds can destroy people. They make the connection so strong, so consuming, that losing the other person can tear the cursed one apart. Riley's breath trembled. But what if you don't lose me? Ashley looked at her like that possibility had never existed in her universe until now. Riley closed the remaining distance between them. Ashley's breath hitched violently. Riley, she whispered, warning trembling inside the word. I can't if I get any closer to you right now. Then don't fight it, Riley murmured. Not tonight. Ashley's control shattered. She pulled Riley into her arms with a sudden, desperate tenderness, burying her face in Riley's neck as Riley held her tightly. Not a kiss this time. Something deeper. Something that felt like surrender. Something that felt like a bond taking root. Ashley whispered against her skin, shaking. If anything happens to you, Riley, I won't survive it. I need you to understand that. Riley closed her eyes, her heart breaking open. Then don't let anything happen to me. Ashley held her tighter. I won't. And somewhere outside, unseen, unheard by all but Ashley, something moved in the darkness again. Watching. Waiting.
Draw not to Ashley.
But to Riley. Riley barely remembered falling asleep. All she knew was the warmth of Ashley's arms around her, the way Ashley clung to her as if letting go might shatter something fragile and irreplaceable inside her. Yet when Riley woke at dawn, the bed beside her was empty. A faint indentation on the pillow, a trace of warmth on the sheets, and the softest scent, pine, cold air, something uniquely Ashley, were the only proof she'd ever been there at all. Riley sat up slowly. Her heart ached at the emptiness. For a moment, she wondered if Ashley had left because of fear, guilt, or panic. But then she noticed something impossible. The air felt charged.
Alive.
Like static dancing across her skin. Riley touched her chest, startled by the faint thrum pulsing beneath her sternum. Not a heartbeat, not magic, but something between the two. Something warm. Something connected. She rose from the bed, her legs unsteady. When she stepped toward the mirror, she froze. Her eyes looked the same, but something behind them didn't. There was a faint glow, not visible, not literal, but felt. A sense of heightened awareness. Instinct sharpening in ways she couldn't define. She knew, without knowing how, that Ashley was nearby. That she was stressed. That she had been pacing. Riley swallowed, shaken. The bond. Whatever had happened between them last night had strengthened it. And it was changing her. The retreat was packing up when Riley went downstairs. Employees moved busily, loading luggage into vans, chatting about return flights and office gossip. Everything seemed normal. Except Riley could feel Ashley before she saw her. She turned and there she was. Ashley stood near the entrance, flanked by two department heads. Her expression was perfectly controlled, her posture flawless, her voice crisp as she gave instructions. But her eyes snapped toward Riley the moment she stepped into the room. A flash of something powerful crossed Ashley's face. Relief, warmth, need. Then she looked away quickly, too quickly. Riley felt it nonetheless. The pull, the awareness. The bond humming like an invisible thread connecting them across the room. Riley stepped forward, and Ashley's breath hitched from across the lodge. She tried to hide it, but Riley felt it in her chest like a physical reaction. The moment Riley got too close, Ashley abruptly stepped back, turning away as if physical distance could muffle the bond's intensity. But it didn't. Riley could still feel her. Every shift in her breath. Every emotion she tried to bury. Every flicker of fear, longing, restraint. Ashley's voice stumbled once. Just once, when she realized Riley was walking toward her. A tiny crack in her perfect armor. No one else noticed. But Riley felt it like a tremor under her skin. When the department heads left, Ashley finally turned to her. Riley, she said quietly, her jaw tight. We need to talk. Riley nodded. Ashley glanced around. Too many people, too many eyes. Even though no one paid special attention, Ashley's instincts wouldn't risk proximity here. She inclined her head toward a side hallway. Riley followed. The moment the door shut behind them, Ashley exhaled shakily and pressed her hand against the wall for balance. It's worse this morning, Ashley whispered. Riley swallowed. You feel it too. Ashley nodded once, her eyes dark with a mixture of fear and something else, something undeniably tender. I can sense you. Every emotion. every shift in your breathing, every thought you try to bury. Riley's pulse quickened. Then you know what I'm feeling right now. Ashley's lips parted, her control visibly wavering. Yes. Riley stepped closer. Ashley's breath caught sharply. Riley, please. Riley froze. Should I stay away? Ashley shook her head immediately.
No.
I don't want that. I just don't know how to be close to you safely right now. Riley approached anyway, slow, steady, careful. Ashley trembled. When Riley touched her hand, Ashley flinched, not from fear, but from how intensely the bond responded. Ashley, Riley whispered, something's happening to me too. Ashley's eyes widened with sudden concern. What do you mean? Riley hesitated. This morning, I woke up and I could feel you. I didn't see you.
I didn't hear you.
But I knew where you were, how you felt, like our emotions were overlapping. Ashley's breath faltered. That shouldn't be possible. But it is. Ashley stepped closer, cupping Riley's face gently. Look at me. Riley did. And Ashley inhaled sharply. Your aura is different. Riley blinked. My what? Ashley's thumb brushed along her cheekbone, trembling. There's a silver sheen.
A glow.
You're resonating with the curse's energy. It's bonding with you. Riley swallowed hard. Is that dangerous? Ashley exhaled slowly. For you? I don't know. For me? Absolutely. Riley's heart clenched. Ashley, if the bond completes, Ashley whispered, her voice breaking, you won't just feel me. You'll influence me.
Calm me.
Trigger me. Anchor me. Or destroy me. Riley's breath stopped. Ashley's grip on her face tightened just slightly. And Riley, if anything ever happened to you, the bond would tear through me like fire. It could kill me. Riley trembled. Then we'll keep each other safe. Ashley's expression softened, and then something shifted behind her eyes. Not emotional. Instinctive. Alert. She turned her head sharply toward the hallway door just as someone pushed it open. Aaron. Again. Her eyes widened when she saw Ashley standing inches from Riley, hands cupping her face, the air between them electric and intimate in a way no explanation could disguise. For one suspended second, all three women froze. Then Aaron spoke, her voice slow and too carefully neutral. Am I interrupting something? Ashley dropped her hands instantly. Riley stepped back. Too late. Aaron's gaze narrowed, taking in every detail, the tension, the proximity, the flushed cheeks, the trembling breath. Aaron, Ashley said stiffly, this is a private conversation, and I don't appreciate being followed. Aaron lifted her chin, refusing to be intimidated. I wasn't following you, but I did hear some things last night. Ashley's jaw tensed. Danger flickered under her skin. Such as? Aaron's eyes flicked to Riley. Growling. Screaming. I saw shapes in the trees. And I saw you two running back to the lodge looking terrified. She stepped closer. So, I'm going to ask again. Is everything okay? Ashley's entire body bristled. Riley felt the shift inside her, felt Ashley's instincts sharpening, not toward violence but toward protection, territory, secrecy. Riley stepped forward gently, placing a soft hand on Ashley's arm. Ashley's breathing steadied instantly, the bond responding in real time. Aaron noticed. Her eyes widened slightly. Oh, she whispered. There is something going on. Ashley took a step toward her, her voice dropping dangerously. Aaron, whatever you think you saw, you're mistaken. Aaron held her gaze. Then prove it. Tell me what happened in the woods. Ashley's jaw clenched. Riley saw the panic behind her eyes. Panic not for herself, but for Riley. Aaron continued, her voice firm. If there's something dangerous out there, the company has a right to know. We could be liable. People could be hurt. Riley tried to intervene. Aaron. But Aaron cut her off. Why were you two out there alone? Why do you look like you haven't slept? Why is Ashley shaking? Ashley wasn't shaking. She was vibrating with the effort not to shift. Aaron's eyes widened again as realization dawned. Something is happening to you, she breathed. And it has something to do with her. Riley felt her stomach drop. Ashley stepped forward suddenly, too suddenly, her voice tightening. Back away. Aaron blinked. Are you threatening me? The air turned cold. Riley grabbed Ashley's hand, squeezing hard, grounding her. Ashley froze, breathing hard. Riley stepped between them. Aaron, Riley said softly, please. Whatever you think you saw, you're not in danger. We're not in danger. Just trust me. Aaron's gaze softened just slightly at Riley's tone, but then hardened again. Riley, I do trust you, but something is wrong here. And I'm not going to pretend I don't see it. Before Riley could respond, Erin turned on her heel and left the hallway, her footsteps echoing with purpose. When she disappeared, Ashley collapsed back against the wall, breathing hard. This is bad, Ashley whispered. Really bad. Riley squeezed her hand. We'll handle it. Ashley shook her head. You don't understand. If she tells anyone, if the board gets wind of anything, everything falls apart. The company. My identity. Us. Riley went still. Us. Ashley's eyes softened, vulnerable.
Yes.
Us. Riley felt her pulse stutter. Then we protect each other. Ashley stepped closer, brushing her forehead against Riley's. I don't deserve you. Maybe not, Riley whispered. But you have me anyway. Ashley inhaled sharply. And then, like a knife of cold air, Riley felt something ripple through her chest. A sharp sensation. A pull. A warning. Ashley jerked her head up. What was that? Riley swallowed, trembling. I think I felt something. Like the creatures. But far away. Ashley's eyes darkened. The bond is evolving. Riley nodded slowly, fear and wonder intertwining. Ashley, what's happening to me? Ashley cupped her face again, her voice soft and grim. You're becoming part of my world. Whether we're ready or not. Riley's breath trembled. And outside the lodge, unseen but undeniably present, another presence stirred in the woods, answering the bond that was no longer Ashley's alone. Riley felt it the moment she woke, a sharp pulse of energy racing beneath her skin, as if her nerves had been rewired overnight. She sat up too quickly, gripping the sheets as a wave of sensation washed over her. It wasn't pain. It wasn't fear. It was awareness, acute, overwhelming, of Ashley's presence somewhere in the lodge. Not a guess. Not intuition. A certainty. She could feel Ashley's heartbeat like a distant drum, steady but strained. She could feel her emotions like muted tides, agitation, restraint, a flicker of longing buried beneath a heavy layer of control. Riley swallowed hard. The bond was strengthening fast. Too fast. She dressed quickly, her hands trembling not from fear but from the magnetic pull that guided her toward Ashley's location without hesitation. She didn't even need to think. Her body knew exactly where Ashley was. She found her in a conference room near the main entrance, pacing with barely contained panic. Papers lay scattered across the table, flight itineraries, company protocols, emergency contact lists, but Ashley didn't seem to see any of them. Her head snapped up the instant Riley stepped inside. Not with surprise. With recognition. Relief. Instinct. Riley. Ashley breathed, closing the distance in two long, desperate strides. Her hands hovered as if unsure whether to touch her or not. Are you okay? Did anything happen overnight? Riley opened her mouth, but Ashley continued, her voice sharper now. Your aura is stronger. I felt something shift while you were asleep. Something deep. Riley nodded, stepping closer. Ashley, the bond is changing me. Ashley's breath hitched. I know. Riley blinked. You do. Ashley exhaled shakily, finally allowing her hands to rest on Riley's arms. Riley, your energy resonates with mine. It echoes through the curse. When the bond strengthens in one of us, it strengthens in the other. And this morning, she closed her eyes briefly. I felt you wake up, like it happened inside my own mind. Riley's heart raced. Ashley, what does that mean? Ashley hesitated, and fear, real fear, flickered through her expression. It means the bond is nearing a threshold. If it completes fully, we won't be able to hide what we are from each other. Or from anyone who gets too close. Riley swallowed. Aaron. Ashley's eyes darkened. Exactly. As if summoned by her name, voices echoed down the hallway. Riley and Ashley turned to see Aaron speaking quietly with two other managers. Her gaze cut toward Riley and Ashley, sharp, calculating, far too curious. When she noticed them watching, she offered a stiff smile before turning back to her conversation. Ashley took Riley's elbow and pulled her deeper into the room. Aaron is dangerous now, she whispered. Not because she means harm, but because she's observant. Intuitive. Too intuitive. Riley nodded slowly. And she's already suspicious. Ashley's jaw tightened. If she keeps pushing, she'll get answers. And the truth will destroy us. Riley reached out, lightly touching Ashley's hand. A small gesture, but enough for Ashley's breath to falter. We'll handle it. Ashley held her gaze, something fragile flickering in her eyes. We have to, because you're changing faster than I expected. Riley wanted to ask what she meant, but suddenly Ashley stiffened. Her pupils widened. Her breath stopped. Riley felt it too, like cold fingers brushing the back of her neck. A presence. Not physical. Not human. Something that prowled the perimeter of the lodge, circling, waiting. Riley shivered. Is it the creatures from last night? Ashley's voice dropped.
No.
This is different. Stronger. Riley blinked. Stronger how? Ashley didn't answer immediately. She walked to the window, her movements tense, predatory. She stared toward the tree line, her jaw tightening with each passing second. Something old is here, she murmured. Something from deeper in the bloodline. My bloodline. Riley's heart pounded. Ashley, what does that mean? Slowly, Ashley turned. It means something was awakened when the bond between us ignited. Riley stared at her. Awakened? Ashley approached her again, her hands trembling now, not from fear of the presence, but from the effort of keeping her instincts in check. Riley, our bond isn't supposed to happen unless the energy between us is perfectly matched, aligned, balanced. Riley swallowed. Are you saying we're compatible? Ashley exhaled a shaky laugh. Compatible isn't the word. It's more like, she hesitated, struggling. Your energy completes mine. The words hit Riley like heat. She stepped closer without thinking. Ashley bristled. Half fear, half desire, half instinct, a triad that made her voice break. Careful, she whispered. The closer you are, the harder it is for me not to. Not to what? Riley breathed. Ashley's eyes softened with something molten. Not to claim the bond. Riley's breath caught. Claim? Ashley cupped her face gently, her eyes searching hers. It means accepting it. Letting it solidify. Letting our energies fuse into one. Riley felt her heart race. What happens if we do? Ashley hesitated. We would be connected forever. Riley blinked. Forever. Ashley nodded, voice trembling. If one of us dies, the other follows. If one is hurt, the other feels the pain. If one experiences joy or fear or longing, the other feels it like their own. Riley's lips parted slowly. Ashley, and Ashley whispered, voice cracking. The moment the bond completes, everyone with supernatural sensitivity will sense it. They will know you exist. Riley's stomach dropped. The creatures. Not just them, Ashley murmured. Others. More powerful ones. Including. She trailed off just as a violent shiver rippled through Riley, tearing a soft cry from her throat. Ashley caught her instantly. Riley. The sensation pulsed through her chest like a shockwave. Cold, hot, electric all at once. She clutched Ashley's arms, her breath trembling. Something's happening. Ashley supported her gently, guiding her to the wall. Tell me what you feel. It's like my vision is sharpening, but not with my eyes. Like I can sense everything. The way the air moves. The way you breathe. Ashley inhaled sharply. Riley, that's your aura, aligning with mine. Riley's nails dug into Ashley's sleeves. Ashley, is this dangerous? Ashley didn't lie. Only if we lose each other. Riley swallowed hard. The pulse grew stronger, thrum by thrum, until suddenly her body stilled and her eyes locked on Ashley with preternatural focus. "There's someone outside," Riley whispered. Ashley's eyes widened. "Where?" Riley lifted a trembling hand and pointed toward the northern windows. "Behind the trees."
Tall.
"Watching." Ashley turned instantly, instincts snapping into place. "It followed us from the clearing," she murmured. "It's stronger than the others."
Smarter.
Riley shuddered. "Why is it watching?" Ashley turned back, her expression grave. "Because it senses you, and it wants to understand why you exist." Riley stepped closer, instinctively seeking Ashley's warmth. "What do we do?" Ashley wrapped her arms around Riley. Not a kiss this time, not desire, but fierce, protective instinct, and whispered into her hair. "We run. We get you far away from here, before the bond draws more attention." Riley clutched her tightly. "Ashley, I can't leave you." "I'm coming with you," Ashley murmured. "I would never let you go alone." Riley pulled back just enough to look into her eyes. "Ashley, what if the bond completes before we can stop it?" Ashley lifted a trembling hand to Riley's cheek. "Then I will protect you with everything I am. And if that tether binds us permanently," her voice softened into something devastating, "then I will gladly belong to you." Riley's breath shook. "Ashley." Ashley leaned forward until their foreheads touched, their breaths tangling, their connection humming like a live wire. "Whatever happens next," Ashley whispered, "we face it together. Because after last night, after the way you held me—" "Riley, I'm not pretending anymore." Riley closed her eyes, overwhelmed by emotion, fear, longing, and the impossible truth blooming between them. Outside, something moved in the shadows. Watching, waiting, drawn not to Ashley, but to Riley, and to the bond that threatened to reshape both their worlds. Riley didn't realize how fast her heart was racing until she felt Ashley's fingers tighten around her wrist, pulling her toward the back corridor of the lodge. Not roughly, not out of panic, but with a fierce, focused urgency Riley had never seen from her before. Ashley's voice was low, controlled, but trembling underneath.
"We leave now."
"Before anyone else notices. Before whatever's outside gets closer." Riley nodded, breath unsteady as she matched Ashley's pace through the empty hallway. The early morning guests were still asleep. The lodge was quiet except for the whisper of their footsteps against the floorboards. But the silence made it worse, made Riley hyper-aware of every sound, every shift of air, every pulse of energy radiating from Ashley, and every pulse inside herself. "Ashley," she whispered, "what if the bond is drawing that thing closer?" Ashley didn't look back. "It is." "Then running won't stop it." Ashley finally turned, stopping so abruptly Riley nearly collided with her. Ashley cupped Riley's face between both hands, her eyes blazing with fear wrapped in tenderness. "Running won't stop it," Ashley agreed softly, "but it will slow it down. And I need time. Time to figure out what you're becoming. Time to understand why the bond is fusing so fast. Time to keep you alive." Riley's breath shook. "And you?" Ashley's expression softened painfully. "I'll survive as long as you do." Riley opened her mouth, to argue, to plead, to ask what that meant, but Ashley's head snapped toward the main entrance before she could speak. Footsteps. Steady. Purposeful. Approaching. Ashley grabbed Riley's hand again. "Go," she murmured. They moved quickly down the side hallway leading toward the exit closest to the vehicles. But before they reached it, someone stepped out from behind the corner. Erin. Riley's stomach dropped. She looked different now, more awake, more alert, eyes sharpening immediately as she took in the sight of them rushing together, Ashley holding Riley close as if shielding her. Erin crossed her arms slowly. "Going somewhere?" Ashley's body went rigid. "Out of our way," she said coldly. Erin didn't move. "Ashley, I heard something outside this morning." Ashley's jaw tightened. Erin continued, voice low. "I saw footprints near the treeline. Not human ones." Riley sucked in a breath. "Erin, don't lie to me," Erin snapped, her voice trembling. Something is happening, and you're both involved. I don't know what it is, but you're scared, and Ashley Hansen is never scared. Ashley took a step forward, positioning herself between Aaron and Riley. This doesn't involve you. Aaron's eyes flicked past her to Riley. Then tell me why the two of you look like you haven't slept, why you keep disappearing together, why you come back from the woods with dirt and scratches. Why you're shaking right now, Riley. Riley's lips parted, but Ashley spoke first. Aaron, this is your last warning. Or what? Aaron shot back. You'll fire me? Go ahead. But I'm not letting you drag Riley into something dangerous without knowing what's going on. Riley felt Ashley's breath change, sharper, deeper. Dangerous. Aaron noticed it too. See. Aaron whispered. That's not normal. Ashley's control snapped. Aaron, move. Instead of moving, Aaron stepped closer.
Mistake.
The air around Ashley shifted instantly, temperature dropping, tension thickening, the bond flaring so sharply Riley felt it slice through her like lightning. Ashley's pupils narrowed, her jaw tightening as instinct surged beneath her skin. Riley grabbed her arm, hard. Ashley, hey, look at me. Ashley froze. Riley stepped in front of her, blocking her view of Aaron. The bond pulsed violently, fear from Riley, instinct from Ashley, merging, stabilizing. Riley whispered, don't shift. Not here. Not in front of her. Ashley's breathing steadied.
Slowly.
Painfully. Aaron watched, stunned. Ashley, what is that? What's happening to you? Riley turned toward her, heart pounding. She couldn't tell the truth, but she couldn't let Aaron push Ashley any further. Please, Riley said, voice cracking. Just trust us. We need to leave. Aaron stared at her for a long, heavy moment. Then her expression softened. Just slightly. Riley, are you in danger? Riley shook her head.
No.
I'm safe. With her. Something flickered in Aaron's eyes. Recognition. Jealousy. Understanding. She stepped aside, but before Ashley could move her past, Aaron grabbed Riley's wrist. If you're lying, she whispered, I'll come find you. Riley swallowed. I'm not. Aaron released her. Ashley practically dragged Riley out the exit door, her breath ragged as the cold morning air hit them. But the moment they stepped outside, everything changed. Riley gasped, clutching her chest. A surge of heat shot through her veins, spreading through her limbs like fire. Ashley spun toward her instantly. Riley. Riley staggered. Something's wrong. It feels like lightning inside me. Ashley caught her before she fell, lowering them both to the ground behind the lodge near the forest path. Look at me, Ashley whispered, her hands cradling Riley's face. Focus on me. On my breathing. Match it. Riley tried, but the energy inside her pulsed violently, like her heart was trying to sync with something outside her body. Ashley pulled her closer, pressing Riley's forehead to hers. Riley, listen to me. This is the bond evolving again. You're sensing something powerful. Riley shuddered. Something's coming. Ashley stiffened. Where? Riley's breathing sped up. She closed her eyes, trying to pinpoint the sensation. It felt like gravity, like being pulled toward something ancient, heavy, inevitable. North, she whispered. Deep in the woods. It's moving toward us. Ashley pulled Riley to her chest protectively. We're leaving.
Now.
But the moment Ashley stood, a figure emerged from the treeline. Not a creature. Not a beast. A person. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing dark clothes that blended perfectly with the shadows behind him. His eyes glowed faintly, not monstrous, but unmistakably supernatural. Ashley's breath caught. No. Riley felt Ashley's fear slam through the bond like ice water. Who is he? The man stepped closer, his voice echoing across the clearing, smooth, authoritative, steeped in ancient power. Ashley Hansen, he said. It has been a long time. Ashley moved in front of Riley instantly, shoulders squared. Stay back. The man ignored her command. His gaze flicked to Riley, and something shifted in his expression. Not hunger. Not threat. Recognition. So, he murmured, the bond has awakened. Riley stiffened. Ashley growled, a deep, instinctive sound vibrating from her chest. Don't look at her. The man raised a brow. Protective already? Interesting. Riley gripped Ashley's coat, her pulse racing. Ashley, who is he? Ashley didn't look away from the man. My uncle. Riley's eyes widened. Ashley's voice dropped to something dark. The one who abandoned us. The one who let the curse spread through the bloodline. The one who should have died with it. The uncle smiled faintly. And yet here I stand. Because unlike you, Ashley, I embraced my nature. Ashley's body trembled. Not from fear, from rage. Leave. I will, he said, but first I need to see the girl. Riley felt her stomach twist. Why me? The man studied her with ancient curiosity. Because when a cursed one forms a bond, the other half either becomes a stabilizer, his eyes sharpened, or a catalyst. Riley swallowed. Catalyst for what? For evolution, he said simply. Ashley stepped closer, voice low and deadly. You don't get to speak to her. The uncle laughed.
Ah.
So it's true. You've imprinted on her. Riley's breath caught. Imprinted? Ashley stiffened. We're leaving, she hissed. The uncle shook his head. You can't run from this. Not anymore. The bond has awakened forces older than either of you. Creatures are one thing, but now others will come. Ashley's jaw clenched. Riley is under my protection. Anyone who tries to take her. Ashley, the man murmured, you can't protect her from what she's becoming. Riley froze. Ashley's grip tightened on her arm. Don't listen to him. But the uncle's eyes glowed brighter, ancient power swirling behind them. The bond has begun transforming her. If it completes, she won't remain human. Riley's breath fractured. Ashley, is that true? Ashley turned to her, panic in her eyes. Riley, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Bonding doesn't always do that, but it can, the uncle said. Especially when the connection is as strong as yours already is. Ashley trembled. Riley felt the fear pouring off her, fear not for herself, but for Riley. You said she was your stabilizer, Riley whispered. What if I'm not? Ashley cupped Riley's face with shaking hands. You are. You have to be. The uncle's voice softened. Ashley, she deserves the truth. Ashley shook her head fiercely.
No.
She deserves freedom. A life without this curse. Riley touched her hand gently. Ashley, look at me. Ashley's eyes met hers, shining with fear, love, and something deeper than either. Whatever I'm becoming, Riley whispered, I want to face it with you. Ashley's breath broke. She pulled Riley into her arms, fierce, protective, desperate. The uncle watched them silently before turning toward the trees. Prepare yourselves, he said. The bond has been sensed. Others are coming. And then he vanished into the forest, leaving behind a silence heavier than any nightmare Riley had ever known. Riley didn't feel her legs move at first. She only realized she was stepping backward when Ashley's hands tightened around her arms, steadying her as the uncle's silhouette dissolved into the treeline. The clearing fell silent, heavy with the words he'd left behind, words that swirled in Riley's chest like smoke, choking her, blurring every thought. I won't remain human. The idea pulsed through her like a second heartbeat. Riley pressed a hand to her sternum, trying to feel something, anything, that told her she was still herself. But the energy thrumming beneath her skin was unmistakably different.
Alive.
Shifting. Becoming. Riley, Ashley whispered, her fingers brushing Riley's cheek.
Hey.
Look at me. Riley lifted her gaze, her breathing shallow. Ashley looked terrified, not of the uncle, not of the bond, but of Riley's fear. He didn't mean it the way it sounded, Ashley said softly. Riley swallowed, her voice breaking. Ashley, I felt something inside me, like something is changing whether I want it to or not. Ashley shook her head immediately.
No.
No, Riley. You're not turning into one of us. You're not cursed. The bond may be intense, but it doesn't decide who you are. Riley exhaled shakily. But it changes me. Ashley froze. Riley stepped closer, her voice trembling. I felt the creature in the woods before you saw it. I felt you waking up from across the lodge. I can sense your heartbeat right now. That's not human. Ashley's breath hitched, and Riley felt it echo inside her. Riley, Ashley whispered. Listen to me. The bond is powerful, yes. But you're stronger than it. And you're stronger than me.
You anchor me. You calm me.
You make the curse easier to control. Riley closed her eyes. And what if that's because I'm becoming less human? Ashley gently cupped Riley's face between both hands. Then I will carry that burden with you. I will not abandon you to this. You are not alone. Riley opened her eyes again, meeting Ashley's gaze. And then she felt it, a surge of warmth between them, humming, pulling, deepening, the bond responding to their closeness. Ashley inhaled sharply. Do you feel that? Riley nodded. Yes. Ashley's jaw tightened. That's why we need answers now, before the bond evolves again. Riley touched Ashley's wrist gently. From where?
Who?
Ashley hesitated, then spoke a name Riley had never heard. The archive. Riley frowned. What's that? A hidden repository, Ashley said softly, kept by the elders of the bloodline. My mother used to take me there before she died. Riley's heart clenched at the softness in Ashley's voice, a vulnerability she rarely showed. It has records of every curse, every bond, every transformation. If there's any chance of understanding what's happening to you, the archive will be the only place. Riley nodded slowly. Then let's go. Ashley reached for her hand, but stopped abruptly. Riley felt it too. A shift in the air. A presence behind them. Not the uncle this time. Something colder. Something wrong. Ashley pushed Riley behind her in one sharp motion just as a low growl rumbled through the clearing. Two eyes glowed between the trees, not yellow like the creatures from before, but white. Empty. Soulless. Ashley stiffened. This one isn't from my bloodline, she whispered. This is something older. Riley felt her skin crawl. Ashley, stay behind me, Ashley ordered. The creature stepped forward into the clearing. It resembled a wolf, but taller, gaunter, with limbs too long and a spine bent at unnatural angles. Its breath fogged the air as if its body temperature were impossibly cold. Ashley snarled back instinctively, not fully shifting but letting the curse vibrate through her skin. The creature ignored her. Its gaze locked onto Riley. Ashley lunged forward, blocking its path. You do not touch her. The creature tilted its head. And then Riley felt something impossible, like a pressure behind her eyes. A whisper. A pull. Not physical. Not emotional. Energetic. Like the creature was calling her. Summoning her. Riley gasped, grabbing the back of Ashley's coat. Ashley. Ashley turned, saw the terror in Riley's eyes, and understood instantly. It's sensing her transformation, she whispered. It wants you. Why? Riley breathed. Ashley didn't answer. She didn't have to. The creature lunged. Ashley met it halfway, crashing into it with enough force to shake the earth beneath them. Riley stumbled back, watching with her heart in her throat as Ashley fought the thing with a ferocity Riley had never seen before. Ashley wasn't holding herself back now. She wasn't restraining the curse. She was unleashing it. Her nails extended as she slashed the creature's flank. Her eyes glowed with an electric blue. Her growl was deeper, sharper, powerful enough to vibrate through Riley's bones. But the creature was fast. Too fast. It darted to the side and charged toward Riley. Riley tried to run, but her legs felt heavy, sluggish, as though the creature's presence was anchoring her to the ground. Ashley saw it. She screamed, a raw, visceral sound, and hurled herself at the creature, tackling it inches before it could reach Riley. They rolled across the ground, snarling, tearing, biting. Riley staggered forward, reaching for a rock, anything to help, but Ashley yelled, Stay back. Ashley, I said stay back. Ashley slammed the creature to the ground, pinning it with her knee. But the creature snapped its jaws toward Riley again, its eyes burning with hunger, or something worse, recognition. Riley felt something in her chest ignite again.
A heat.
A pulse. A wave of energy so strong it nearly knocked her to her knees. Ashley flinched, her eyes widening as she felt it too through the bond. Riley, no, don't let it pull you. But the creature was no longer attacking. It was watching, waiting, studying her like prey and prophecy at once. Then it whispered, not aloud, but inside Riley's mind. Found you. Riley screamed, clutching her head. Ashley roared, a sound so primal it silenced everything. She tore into the creature with a strength that seemed impossible even for her. The creature yelped, then broke away and disappeared into the forest with unnatural speed. Riley collapsed to her knees, shaking violently. Ashley was at her side instantly, gathering her into her arms. Riley, hey, look at me, look at me. Riley's breath came out in ragged bursts. It spoke to me. In my head. It said it found me. Ashley held her tighter, pressing Riley's face into her shoulder as if shielding her from the world. It's okay. I've got you. It can't take you from me. Riley trembled against her. Ashley, what's happening to me? Ashley's voice broke. I don't know, but I swear to you, I will not let you become something you're afraid of. I will not lose you. Riley clung to her. I'm scared. Ashley pressed a trembling kiss to Riley's temple. I know, sweetheart. Riley stilled. Sweetheart. Ashley froze, realizing what she'd said. Their eyes met, the bond pulsing between them, fierce and tender and terrifying. Riley lifted a hand, touching Ashley's face gently. We need to go, Riley whispered. To the archive. Ashley nodded, swallowing hard. And we're leaving now. But as Ashley helped Riley to her feet, Riley felt another shift inside her. Not pain, not fear. Something awakening. Something ancient. And she realized with bone-deep certainty, the creature's whisper had not been wrong. It had found her, and more were coming. Ashley didn't let go of Riley's hand for the entire walk back to the car. Not when they passed the edge of the lodge grounds. Not when the trees thickened around them. Not even when Riley stumbled from the aftershocks of that creature's whispered intrusion inside her mind. Ashley kept Riley close. Too close. Like if even 1 inch of space opened between them, something ancient and merciless would reach through it and take Riley away. Riley didn't protest. She couldn't. Her chest still trembled from the lingering echo of that cold, alien voice that had spoken inside her. Found you. She felt it like a bruise behind her ribs, an imprint that wasn't fading. Stay with me, Ashley murmured, opening the passenger door and helping Riley inside. Her tone wasn't commanding this time. It was pleading. Riley nodded, letting Ashley buckle her seatbelt because her hands still shook. Ashley circled around to the driver's seat and started the engine with trembling fingers. We need distance, she said. We need to reach the archive before anything else senses the bond. Riley stared at her, voice soft and unsteady. Ashley, whatever I'm becoming, what if the archive says there's no way to stop it? Ashley turned to her, and the look in her eyes was devastating, raw love wrapped in terror. Then we find a way anyway, she whispered. I'm not losing you to this. I don't care what the archive says. Riley swallowed, warmth and fear colliding inside her. Then Ashley added, quieter, and I don't care what I become in the process either. Riley's breath caught. Those words vibrated through the bond, amplifying, deepening, threading into Riley's heartbeat as the car pulled onto the mountain road. The forest thickened around them, shadows clinging to the edges of the windshield. For several minutes, neither of them spoke. Riley kept her eyes on Ashley's hands, steady on the wheel despite the tension coiling beneath her skin. Ashley was afraid. Riley felt it clearly. But beneath that fear was something stronger, something protective, stubborn, determined. Something that made a shiver run down Riley's spine. Ashley would burn the world before she let anything take Riley. That truth pulsed through the bond like a vow. Ashley, Riley whispered finally. What is the archive, really? Ashley exhaled, gripping the wheel tighter. A sanctuary. A prison. A library. A grave. Riley blinked. That doesn't narrow it down. Ashley hesitated. It's a place built by the first cursed ones. The ones who surrendered to the transformation entirely. Riley's stomach twisted. You mean creatures? Ashley shook her head. Something worse. Riley didn't ask again. She wasn't sure she wanted to know yet. Several miles passed in silence until Riley felt it again, a pulse in her chest, stronger this time, like her heart had synchronized with something external. She gasped, clutching her sternum. Ashley. Ashley slammed the brakes. Gravel skidded beneath the tires. What happened? Riley pressed a hand to her chest, eyes wide. It's the bond. It's changing again. Ashley's breath trembled. What do you feel? Riley struggled to find the words. It's like something inside me is reaching out. Searching. Calling. Ashley's expression shattered.
No.
No, Riley, you have to fight that. If you answer. I'm not trying to answer. Riley whispered desperately. It's pulling on its own. Ashley reached across the console, grabbing both of Riley's hands in hers. The moment their skin touched, a surge ripped through Riley like electricity snapping in midair. She gasped, her back arching slightly. Ashley's eyes widened. The bond, Riley breathed. Focus on my voice. Riley clung to her, nails digging slightly into Ashley's palms. Ashley, it's too strong. Ashley tightened her grip. Then let me carry it with you. Riley felt the bond flare, their energies colliding and merging, warm and overwhelming and terrifyingly intimate. She felt Ashley's heartbeat, Ashley's fear, Ashley's longing, Ashley's instinct, and something else, something deeper than words, deeper than the curse, deeper than anything Riley had ever felt in her life. Ashley felt her too, because her breath broke as if Riley's pulse had become her own. Riley, Ashley whispered, voice ragged. Our bond isn't stabilizing. It's fusing. Riley's eyes widened. What does that mean? Ashley swallowed, her voice shaking. It means we're running out of time. Riley's heart pounded. For what? Ashley hesitated, and Riley felt the truth before Ashley spoke it. The bond wanted completion. Not emotional, not romantic, not physical, energetic, soul deep, irreversible. Ashley leaned closer, her forehead brushing Riley's, their breaths tingling. I'm scared, Ashley whispered. Riley had never heard her sound that way. Not once. Because if the bond completes now, before we know what you are, before we know how to control it, Riley, it might destroy you. Riley's breath trembled. But if we break it, it'll destroy me. Their foreheads stayed pressed together for several shaking breaths. Then Riley whispered, We'll make it to the archive. We have to. Ashley nodded and pulled away just enough to return to the wheel. But the air inside the car had changed, thick and electric with everything they weren't saying. Riley turned to look out the window and froze. Someone was standing at the tree line. A human shape. Female. Riley blinked. Ashley. Ashley looked up and slammed on the brakes again. The figure stepped forward into the light. Middle-aged. Dark hair streaked with gray. Eyes sharp, familiar. Ashley's breath left her body. No, she whispered. It can't be. The woman stepped closer. Riley felt Ashley's panic spike through the bond like a scream. Ashley, Riley asked softly. Who is she? Ashley's voice broke. My mother. Riley's heart stopped. But you said she died. Ashley shook her head slowly, her hands trembling on the steering wheel.
She did.
Or, at least, I thought she did. Ashley opened the door, stumbling out. Riley rushed after her. The woman stood calm and eerily composed, watching Ashley with eyes full of distant sorrow. You shouldn't be here, Ashley whispered, voice cracking. You're dead. The woman smiled, a small, broken smile.
No, sweetheart.
I hid. I had to. Sweetheart. The same word Ashley had used for Riley. Only now it felt like a ghost brushing across the clearing. Riley stepped closer, heart racing. The woman's gaze shifted to her. You must be Riley. Riley froze. How do you, the bond? The woman said simply. I felt it awaken. It called to me. You called to me. Riley's pulse stuttered. Ashley stepped between them instinctively. Don't touch her. Her mother's smile softened. You've grown more protective than I ever imagined. You left us, Ashley snapped. You left me alone with a curse I didn't understand. The woman's expression twisted with guilt. I left to save you. If I had stayed, Ashley, you would have completed a bond with the wrong person. And it would have killed you. Ashley flinched as if struck. Riley felt the pain through the bond. Then her mother turned to Riley again. And now you're the catalyst. Riley swallowed. Catalyst for what? For change, Ashley's mother whispered. For the evolution of the entire bloodline. Riley shook her head. I don't want to evolve anything. I just want to survive. Then you must reach the archive, the woman said gently. There's a ritual there. One that can stabilize the bond without destroying either of you. Ashley grabbed her arm. Why didn't you tell me this years ago? Because, her mother whispered, the ritual only works if the bond is real. Ashley froze. Riley froze. Heat bloomed between their chests, painful, undeniable, sacred. The bond was real. Ashley's mother stepped back into the shadows.
Go.
Before the others arrive. Others? Ashley demanded. But it was too late. Her mother was gone. Disappeared as though she'd never existed. Riley stared at Ashley. Ashley stared at Riley. And the bond throbbed between them like a pulse shared by two hearts. Ashley, Riley whispered. We have to go. Ashley nodded slowly, voice trembling.
Yes.
But Riley, whatever happens in the archive, Riley stepped closer, taking Ashley's shaking hands in hers. We face it together. Ashley let out a breath that sounded like surrender. Always. They got back into the car, and as Ashley drove toward the archive, neither of them realized that something was following them in the sky above, silent, winged, ancient, drawn to the bond's rising power. Ashley drove faster than she ever had in her life, her fingers gripping the steering wheel so tightly the leather creaked under the strain. Riley sat beside her, one hand pressed against her chest where the bond pulsed like a second heartbeat, theirs, intertwined, growing stronger with every mile. The sky above them darkened unnaturally, clouds swirling in spirals that didn't belong to the weather at all. Something followed them, something winged, heavy, powerful. Riley didn't need to look up to feel it. She sensed it through the bond, the way its attention brushed against her like cold fingertips on her spine. Ashley, I know, Ashley whispered, her jaw clenched. We're close. Just hold on a little longer. The road narrowed into a secluded path surrounded by towering pines. Ahead, barely visible through mist, a stone archway jutted out from the mountainside. Vines clung to its surface, carved symbols glowing faintly with silver light. The archive. Riley felt her breath catch. The moment they passed through the arch, the air shifted. Heavy, ancient, humming with old power. Ashley stopped the car abruptly. Stay close to me, she said, voice trembling with both instinct and fear. I'm not letting you go, not even for a second. Riley reached for her hand. I'm not going anywhere. They stepped out together. The ground vibrated beneath their feet, as if recognizing them. The entrance to the archive revealed itself, stone doors sliding open silently. Welcoming or warning, Riley couldn't tell. Inside, the space expanded impossibly, as though stepping into a world hidden beneath the mountain. Shelves carved into stone walls glowed with faint runes. Crystal lanterns floated in the air, illuminating pathways. The scent of old earth and forgotten secrets clung to every inch. Riley shivered. Ashley, this place feels alive. Ashley nodded. It is. She led Riley deeper inside, their footsteps echoing into the cavernous halls. We need the ritual chamber, Ashley whispered. That's where the elders stored everything about the bonds. Riley glanced at her. Did you ever come here with your mother? Ashley hesitated.
Once.
Before she died. Before I thought she died. Riley squeezed her hand gently. Ashley's breath stuttered, the bond pulsing between them. They turned a corner and stopped. A massive stone slab stood in the center of an open chamber, covered in symbols that shifted when Riley looked at them. Ashley inhaled shakily. This is it. Riley approached slowly, the stone humming beneath her fingertips. The moment she touched it, light exploded across its surface. Ashley gasped and stumbled back. Riley froze. The runes pulsed in sync with Riley's heartbeat, glowing brighter, sharper, faster. Riley stepped back. Ashley cried. But Riley couldn't move. The stone held her in place as images flashed through her mind. Visions of ancient bonds, wolf-like beings turning into light, energies merging, souls intertwining, curses breaking and reforming. And then a final image. Two figures fused by a single, brilliant thread of silver. Riley tore her hand away, stumbling backward into Ashley's arms. Riley. Ashley cupped her face, eyes frantic. Are you hurt? Talk to me, look at me, Riley gasped. It showed me us. Ashley froze.
Us.
The bond. If we complete it, it won't destroy us. Riley's voice trembled. But it will change me. Ashley's breath faltered, her throat tightening.
How?
I don't know, Riley whispered. But it felt like stepping into your world. Becoming something between human and cursed. Something made for you. Ashley shook her head violently.
No.
Riley, no. I didn't bring you here for that. I brought you here to save you. Maybe saving me means accepting what I'm becoming. I won't let the curse take you, Ashley whispered, pulling her close. Riley hugged her tightly. Ashley, maybe it's not a curse for me. Ashley pulled back, eyes shining with fear and longing. Don't say that. You don't understand what it means to live like this. Riley brushed her thumb across Ashley's cheek. Then let me understand. Ashley's breath trembled. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid of losing you. You won't, Riley whispered. I'm right here. Before Ashley could reply, the chamber shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. A deep roar echoed through the archive. Riley's blood turned cold. Ashley, something's here. Ashley pushed Riley behind her, her eyes glowing bright blue as she faced the entrance. Stay close. Don't let go of me. A shadow moved between the columns, broad wings scraping stone, claws clicking against the floor. The creature stepped into the chamber. Its form was humanoid, but its limbs were too long, its wings too wide, its face twisted into something neither human nor beast. Riley felt its hunger immediately. Not for flesh. For power. For the bond. Ashley, I know, Ashley growled. The creature lunged. Ashley shifted, not fully, but enough for her bones to crack, her movements to sharpen, her instincts to take over. She met the creature midair, claws slashing, teeth bared. Riley screamed as they crashed into a pillar. Ashley. The creature roared and slammed Ashley into the wall. She gasped, blood at her lip, eyes flickering. The bond pulsed with her pain. Riley felt it like a knife through her chest. Stop, Riley cried, stepping forward. The creature turned its gaze toward her. It felt the bond. It wanted to rip it from her, absorb it, consume it. Riley trembled. She knew, instinctively, that if the creature reached her, it would kill them both. Ashley shoved herself between them, panting, trembling. Don't touch her, she snarled. The creature lunged again. Too fast, Ashley was thrown aside. Riley cried out, her heart splintering as Ashley hit the ground hard. Without thinking, without fear, Riley stepped in front of Ashley. The bond exploded inside her, light bursting beneath her skin, energy radiating in waves. The creature froze mid-lunge. It stared at Riley, confused, startled, afraid. Riley's voice came out layered, human, and something else. You will not harm her. The creature shrank back, screeching. Riley lifted her hand. Silver light burned across her palm. The creature's wings convulsed. It collapsed, convulsing, trying to withstand the energy Riley was giving off. Ashley stared up at Riley, stunned, awestruck, terrified. Riley felt the power building, overwhelming, threatening to tear through her. Ashley, it's too strong. I can't hold it. Ashley scrambled to her feet and grabbed her shoulders. Look at me. Focus only on me. Riley's eyes met hers. Everything else vanished. The bond, Riley gasped. It wants to complete. Ashley cupped Riley's face, her forehead pressing against Riley's. Then let it. Riley, let me in. Silver light burst between them. The bond fused, heart to heart, soul to soul, energy merging in a way neither of them could stop. Ashley gasped as the power rushed through her. Riley cried out as the transformation shattered and remade her in the same breath. The creature screeched once, then disintegrated into ash. The light faded. Riley collapsed, and Ashley caught her. Riley. Ashley held her, shaking, kissing her forehead, her cheek, her hair. Please, open your eyes, please, Riley stirred.
Slowly, softly.
Her eyes opened, glowing faintly silver. Ashley sucked in a breath. Riley. Riley lifted a trembling hand to Ashley's cheek. I'm here. Ashley's eyes filled, her forehead pressing to Riley's. You're alive. Riley nodded weakly. We completed it. Ashley nodded, tears slipping silently down her face.
Yes.
And you survived. Riley smiled softly. We survived. Ashley pulled her into a fierce embrace. Riley melted into her arms, the bond now settled, steady, warm, permanent. Not a curse, not a doom, a connection.
A choice.
When they finally pulled back, Riley whispered, Ashley, what am I now? Ashley cupped her face, her expression tender and reverent. Mine. Riley's breath trembled. And you're mine. Ashley kissed her, slow, trembling, desperate and relieved and overflowing with everything they had fought for. When they finally separated, Riley rested her head against Ashley's shoulder. So, what happens next? Ashley wrapped her arms around her. Whatever we choose. Together. Outside, the world had shifted, but inside the archive, Riley Morgan and Ashley Hansen stood bound not by a curse, but by a love strong enough to rewrite it. Thank you so much for being here and for believing in this channel. If you feel in your heart, you can donate with super thanks.